the bottle. Put your foot down on the throttle. Buckle up, motherfuckers, for the Dog Water Radio Show.
Already half drunk, 200 miles away, man on a mission. Nothing in my way, I got a pocket full of money, a paper full of green, and I turned that truck southbound, State Route 17. Yeah, gas up that big red truck, make sure I got some beer, well, some for when I get there, something to help me steer. Yeah, get out of my way, snakes. Get out of my way, dear. I'm a one-track mind, not fall behind, and the road ahead is clear. Yet there I was, just minding my own business, riding dirty and riding through the desert on a midnight ride to Ruckus. Texting, speeding, driving while drinking with open beer cans. Crammed between the seats, I got a half-full bottle in my lap, and the whole rig smells like weed. And I look back and it's a stage flagging me. Yeah, it's that feeling you get from the law, like a wind out of your sail. Like who the hell am I gonna call? Might make my bill. They about to put the hammer down, and I'm gonna be the nail man. I ain't going to Ruckus, going straight to jail. Oh, yeah, there I was, just minding my own business, riding dirty and riding through the desert on a midnight ride to Ruckus. Been a little strange seeing Alabama play in the middle of nowhere like this. Hollin' ass is late, cause he said, man, do you own this thing? And I said, go on, check it out. He didn't mind the smell of beer or the haze cloud of that loud weed. Yeah, he must have had a spot for I lost my Alabama, cause he came back and he said, man, I'm from Anniston. And I said, oh yeah, is that about guessing way? And he goes, yeah. How's your mom then? Yeah, this show was a nice ride. It stayed on your side, so I can say, see you, man. Hey, roll tide. Yet there I was, just my own business, riding dirty and riding through the desert on a midnight ride to Ruckus.
Naked blonde walks into a bar with a poodle under one arm and a 2-foot salami under the other. She lays the poodle on the table. Bartender says, I suppose you won't be needing a drink. Naked lady says, oh, shit!
Coming to you live from the Ruckus Sweatshop. You are listening to Dog Water Radio, episode 4.
Yep.
Season 3. You just listened to Midnight Ride to Ruckus by Abraham and the Old Gods. My name is Dog by Harris. I'm here with my partner. Not sexual partner.
The immortal, the inevitable, the Blackwater Dern.
On this episode, we talked to Taillight Rebellion. We're also going to announce a new segment we're doing, yet to be named. I'm going to announce the roster for Ruckus and the Internet Online Music Festival as well.
Whoop, whoop, raise the house.
Raise the house, that and all. All that and so much more here on Dogwater Radio, Episode 4, Season 3, featuring Taillight Rebellion. What a great interview that was, huh?
Oh, hell yeah. I enjoyed that interview immensely. That was very fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good times, man. Yeah, so how's your week, buddy?
It was all right. Did the cool kid thing like all the other hip cats and kittens are doing, and got my first C19er vaccine.
Did Mama Dern get one?
Mama, we both got ours yesterday.
Nice.
So Friday the 12th, we got our C19er vax.
C19er.
And yeah, other than that, we went to Hermiston. Went and bought an air nailer, an air stapler at Harbor Freight. Bought a new air hose for my compressor that I got, and that was about it. Did some grocery shopping and got some Pizza Hut, and that was about the fucking highlight of my week.
What kind of pizza did you get?
We got the box thingy, because Mom's not a big pepperoni fan.
Oh, yeah.
So like we get like ham on one pizza, and like I get a pepperoni, then we split the breadsticks, and I didn't really want any of the chicken wings.
I love chicken wings.
Not a big wings fan.
You're not a big
I'd rather
wings fan?
have a boneless wings. I know everyone, they're just chicken nuggets. Well, I don't like fucking bones, so I'd rather just eat the whole thing. I might pop the whole thing in, the Blackwater black hole, and fucking there it goes.
I think all of our listeners know that you do, in fact, like bones.
Not really.
Somewhere in and around your mouth, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Would you quit being so petty?
Manny petty.
No petty bones.
Hopefully your groupies aren't listening.
What can I say? I'm like Justin Bieber to the...
I am a how do they put it in the Grumpy Old Men? I am a gangster.
I am a Lothario of hearts, and I am a gangster of love. Is it more of a hold up than it was a stick up? How was your week? I was gonna say you've been working quite a bit. You
I actually got
down
off
a little bit.
I got off pretty easy, man, this week. Thank God. I think I got it out of their system last week. My boss is on vacation down in Florida, so my other boss and I held down the fort kind of, and we pretty mellow week actually at work for once. It was kind of nice, and hopefully I'm still on call, so hopefully nobody calls in.
Weather's getting nicer.
Yeah, the weather's getting nicer. Things are loosening up. They're finally letting the residents go back out. Some of our residents are getting... some of my residents are like able to go back out and get or they're getting the shots now, and then
sweet.
Yeah,
we'll go back out and enjoy the community and stuff.
Yeah, at least go to Walmart. I mean, we don't get to go do much, but they couldn't even go shopping for a while, and that's frustrating as fuck to them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Especially when they're kind of only like pigeonholed like 1 or 2 stores in that town.
Yeah, man. I mean, and if it wasn't for all those fucking communist teachers,
them communist teachers and those un-American and the un-American politicians just treating us like
I know we're gonna have to start getting uncommunist fucking mental health programs pretty soon. But yeah, we just had
commie therapists.
We just popped into Bucknum's for a minute, and I quickly had to get my food to go, or else I was going to throw it up all over Cody High's nice, clean bar. So,
I don't know. Just goes to show that no matter how much you think you know of a person's like ideology and everything else, sometimes they surprise the absolute fuck out of you. And sometimes they don't, because, like, I don't know if people can surprise me anymore, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, you know, I guess that I am handicapped in this world because I was taught by a bunch of communist liberal fucking teachers.
You know,
And everybody, you know, and everybody that, you know, is now homeschooling their kids or raising true fucking 100% blue-blooded fucking patriot Americans.
Patriots.
Fucking patriots. Starting the new revolution
Oh,
out.
say, can you see
America, America.
by Trump's dealing?
And I'm proud to be an American where Donald Trump says I'm free.
And I won't forget the libs that died to try to take that shit from me.
I'm gonna stand up and tell MSNBC that Newsmax is only for me. Cause I'm proud to be an American in Donald Trump's land of the free. Anyways,
that was a little tangent there for you. Just something fun for you guys.
yeah, just something fun. Just something fun that we interviewed
We just like that
with
fun.
our afternoon and everything.
We just like to have fun, you know.
Yeah.
We just like to have fun, people. We're fun people.
No big deal, just fun.
Just a little fun song, a little parody song we broke into. So
I do actually, to be completely honest, I do like that Lee Greenwood song.
Yeah.
Out of all like the pro Uber American songs, like I like the Lee Greenwood song.
yeah. So, speaking of fun little things, we were talking about doing a new segment. We've had this idea for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to roll into it, man. We're going to roll into it good. Starting this week, for any of you guys that are listening,
We want to hear from you.
we want to hear from you. We want to give you advice on things.
We want listener mail.
Yeah.
We want DWR listener mail.
Yep. And so you can reach us at all lowercase letters, dogwaterradio@gmail.com. You can send any topics you want us to cover. Send us your your problems. Maybe we'll help you sort through them. And then I suggest doing the exact opposite of what we say to do because we kind of suck at life. So I do have an office now, kind of, for this month.
I know. Like,
I had 2 weeks
You
left.
got an office and you got a super special chair, like King of the Castle type chair.
Like my computer here is like $1,000 computer.
I'm just a fucking scrub bum over here.
Especially in your chair.
I know, my fucking shitty Foley chair. I don't know if I should sit in it.
If I wasn't
like,
such a piece of shit
I don't know if I
communist-
should sit in it or like pick it up to hit somebody with it.
If I wasn't such a piece of shit communist, I'd get you a fucking better chair. But
well,
you know me, just big fat commie with my
I don't know.
nice
That's
chair.
not really communist because if we were communists, we both had equally comfortable chairs.
Yeah,
You're
it'd be
more
like-
like you're fucking. You've been listening to them too much. You turned into a fat cat capitalist.
Oh.
Fucking them goddamn fucking liberal teachers. They fucking
Dirty liberal teachers.
dirty liberal teachers.
In Hebner, Oregon, of all places.
Because
Nothing
you know
says-
what? If you're a dirty liberal teacher, you are not hip. You can't be hip.
You can't be hip.
You gotta be hip to be square.
Boy.
So.
Well, shit, what do you say we
Yeah.
let these motherfuckers get some more music? We'll come back and do a beer review for you. I'm going to turn on the leg lamp because it's getting a little dark.
Ooh, it's gonna be on me. We're gonna start feeling each other's legs and everything.
Let's hope so.
It's going to get homoerotic in here.
So yeah. Up next, off of his new EP that he's got coming out through Rusty Knuckle Records. I can't remember what the fuck it's called. But this is a St. Christopher Lansing Gun Club. This is a great song. I did a great interview with him a few weeks back. You can go check that out on the YouTube. Followed by, spoiler alert, coming up later, I'll be announcing the... as I announced earlier, I'll be announcing the Ruckus in the internet roster, and here is one of the bands that are going to be participating in that, WhiskeyDick.
Oh.
This one's called Wookie Pussy. We'll be back to give you guys a fucking beer review. I don't know why I'm doing that to the camera. We're not even...
The hairdressers get her hair done. It's time to open up.
Let's do it! Gun Club! Michigan! Militia!
Am I not telling you not to go outside of the doors?
Outside of doors is city. Awesome input. You did not tell me.
You have been vandalized all over yourself.
No, decorations, multicolored petroleum byproducts.
Los locos kick your ass. Los locos kick your face. Los locos kick your balls into outer space.
25.
Uh-oh.
Come on, I will clean you up.
But
If you had a
then-
mouth, I would wash it out with soap.
But I...
My friends told me she's ugly, but I was too drunk to tell. Woke up early the next morning. What the fuck is that smell? Her legs wrapped around me, strangling me, struggling for air. I opened my eyes to see, but all I could see was hair. She had a Wookiee pussy, a woolly Wookiee pussy. I will never live this one down. I can never go back downtown. Everyone saw me leave with a bitch named Hercules. Wookiee pussy, woolly Wookiee pussy. Next day I stopped drinking because of that lonesome night. All the time I was thinking I had Wookiee pussy on my mind. Wookiee pussy, woolly Wookiee pussy.
Frank? Is that you, Frank? I'm warning you, I'm armed and dangerous.
Disguise. Camouflage. Hi.
Number 5! You got away?
Yep.
You can't stay here, they'll find you.
Stephanie. Change color. Attractive. Nice software.
Boy, you sure don't talk like a machine.
Alive, Stephanie. Number 5 alive.
Yes, I know you think you're alive, but those guys who built you say no way, and I don't know what to think anymore. But I know it's not safe for you here, so go on, get out of here. Go on.
Solitude. Isolation. Alone.
Oh, number 5, come on.
Oh, righty, folks, we're back. That was St. Christopher Lansing Gun Club off his new album coming out soon on Rusty Knuckle Records, followed by Wookiee Pussy.
Yeah, from WhiskeyDick.
WhiskeyDick. Speaking of whiskey or beer, whatever.
Fritz and Johnson.
Yeah, we're into our beer segment now.
I know.
Let's see. I think I'm going to roll first,
Yeah,
Gab.
you go ahead and roll first.
Did I go first last time?
I don't know. Who knows?
This week, I got, courtesy of Mr. Blackwater Dion. Oh, yeah. I got, from Pelican Brewing, the White Russian-inspired milk stout. And I love Pelican Brewing.
The Brewed abides.
It's not quite as sweet as I thought it would be. Or milky.
I've had a couple of them so far, and to be honest, I think it drinks more like a porter than it does a milk stout myself.
I think it drinks like a stout, but
it
a
doesn't
light stout.
Yeah, it doesn't drink like a milk stout.
And not a milk stout. It's good though. It reminds me of something. This is really good. I'd give this fucker probably a 4. Anything from Pelican I've tried is probably a 4, to be honest. Anything. They get that barley wine that I haven't tried. It's like $15 a bottle, and it doesn't sound appealing to me. Have you tried it?
I've had barley wine in the past, and I'm just not a big fan of it.
I've had it before. I won't. I just don't. I'm not into it.
If I'm gonna, this is my thing as a drinker. This is my thing as an alcohol consumer. If I'm gonna drink something, I'm gonna want it to taste halfway decent. For one, that's the whole biggest thing is taste. If it has an aspect of it to where it's gonna be like overly alcohol tasting or like overly just weird, or you have that weird like liquor warming effect to me, like especially with the barley wine or a wine itself, I'm not gonna enjoy it. It's too heavy. And that's with the problems I find with the barley wine and also with these bourbon barrel-aged stouts and all that shit, is you leave them go for long enough and they get super fucking heavy. They become sipping beers. Beer is not meant to be sipped. It's meant to be drank. And liquor is meant to be sipped. You know, that's the thing. Don't turn beer into liquor. It's not.
Yeah.
If I want to drink liquor, I'll fucking drink liquor.
Yeah, I don't really like the in-between either, like that one we tried at Christmas. And I've got 2 bottles of $15 Rogue sitting in the fridge right now that are kind of along the same lines, and I'm worried I'm not going to like those either.
The Double Dead guy, I wouldn't be real sure about. But what was the other one? It's like the Dead Chocolate or something? Or
No.
Chocolate,
it's not. They're not Dead guys. And actually, I tried the Double Dead guy was actually really good. The Dead and Dead, that was actually really good, and I had my doubts about that because the Dead and Dead was actually so it might be okay because I actually really liked the Dead and Dead. It was tough though. Not quite as tough as that one that we tried at Christmas. That was the one that was aged in the whiskey.
That was a 2019 Old Rasputin.
But the thing
bourbon barrel aged stout.
The thing with the Dead and the Dead, which actually is kind of the same concept of these ones, and these aren't the ones we're trying this week because I'm not really in the mood to drink. I want to be in the mood to drink when I try them because they're $15 a bottle. And I actually had to have Tim Cutter go fucking buy them for me in fucking Portland and ship them to me. Fucking all bootleg, kind of borderline illegal.
They're not called beer buying, they're called bootlegging.
So, and now they're for sale in Tri-Cities, it looks like, at my liquor store, which kind of irritates the shit out of me. But, so anyways, but the thing with that is the Dead and Dead is they age the beer in the same barrel that they age the Dead Guy whiskey in. That's why it's called Dead and Dead. So these ones are kind of the same ones. These are the rolling something ones, and one's a chipotle flavored one, and the other one is just a dark one. But they'll both have the word imperial in them. So I have my doubts that I will be a huge fan, but maybe, who knows? That's Rogue.
Imperial stouts aren't real bad.
Imperial IPAs taste like dick.
Yeah, because they're triple hopped or quadruple hopped. Or
I've never been a fan of any kind of have the word imperial in it.
Yeah.
Usually, to me, that's
it's better.
It just
really,
means
it's thick. It's gonna be heavy as shit to drink.
This is pretty good though, man. I might drop it down to a 3.75 though because
get more through the beer.
It's a little.
You got to give it about a half.
It's a little bland, but it's one of those ones I think would be good warm too.
It gets a little bit better once it warms up because you can get the coffee and the Kahlua flavor to it.
Oh, really?
So
I'll let it sit. It's good.
Well, without further ado,
you gonna do that one first, and we'll do the split review. I want to try the Buoy too.
Yeah, we'll do the Buoy as our split. We should start.
This
doing
is the
that.
cool thing about.
I think we should start doing that. Well, you do one, I do one, and we both review one.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. I think.
Well, what would you've had that one? What would you rate it?
The Brewed abides. I'm gonna give it
Untapped.
Untapped. I'll give it a 3.5. Actually, I give it a 3.75. It wasn't the absolute best milk stout I've ever had. Like I said, I think it tastes more like, or drinks more like a porter. But like I said, I liked it more like towards the bottom of the bottle because it got a little bit more coffee tasting and a little bit more flavorful.
Yeah.
And
fucking gosh, on my time.
Fucking my time.
Makalaka
This comes from our, I should say, our friends at Kona Brewing. Like I know anybody that works at the fucking brewery. I like Kona beer.
Kona's not bad.
It's one of those I should say macro brewed beers that have a craft brew flavor to it. I get really, but this one is the My Time Island Wheat, and it's normal. It's like the Kona Ale, but it's brewed with pineapple, orange, and lime. It's not bad. Not one of the better fruit beers I've ever had. It has a little bit of a weird back taste to it. Almost reminiscent of eating way too many like tropical fruit Micanites and having just like that weird bitter sugar taste to it.
It's been a while since I had a wheat beer.
It's good though.
I probably won't have a real accurate flavor since I just took a drink of a milk stout. But it might get me ready for the Buoy. Mm-hmm. Oh, you can really smell the fruit in that bitch.
And that's the thing. You can really, really smell the fruit into it.
Whew, that is not for me.
Yeah.
You're right. That does have like the
It has a funky tropical punch like candy. It has a tropical punch like candy, weird, funky aftertaste to it.
You know what it tastes like to me? Remember those old Camels that used to come in a tin?
Oh, fuck yes! The flavored ones, yeah.
The tropical zingers or whatever
they had like the... Dude,
it tastes like I smoked a pack of those.
There were so many different kinds.
They're good, man.
And they were, but then like the government's like, your favorite cigarettes. I'm like, fuck you! I want my fucking watermelon flavored Camels back. That goddamn 2 summers were the best smoking summers of my life.
Yeah, those packs were fucking super
and they
cheap.
were fucking, and they were tins too. Yeah. They were like in
put your weed in them afterwards.
Yeah. Well, there's probably still weed somewhere in one of those tins.
Yeah, someplace there's seeds. One of the
seeds are the old Bammer shit that me and the old man used to
do. Dude, I wish we could get some of that and just fucking spread that shit around town. Just fucking huck them everywhere and get them going.
Seeds?
Yeah, this is just like the old Bammer seeds, just to grab handfuls of them and spread them around.
Well, I have them.
Yeah.
We'd be spraying around like 87, 88 fucking era. Like shit fucking swag weed.
What'd you save a bunch of?
The old man the old man from back in the day, there's probably, when I went through some of his shit after he passed away, there was probably seeds from like probably from the year I was fucking born, like saved in his fucking tin.
Really?
Dude, some of that like first shit that we ever grew was fucking from seeds that he had fucking saved from like the early 90s, late 80s.
Wow.
We started a new crop revolution in Oregon.
What do you rate that bad boy?
This I'm gonna rate it a 3. It's right down.
I would give it less than that, dude. If it was up to me, I'd give that fucking thing like a 1.5.
Yeah, see, I like it. It's not that bad. I'll give it a 2.5. 2.5, lingering on a 2.75. I definitely prefer the Golden Ale or the Longboard Lager more than I do that, though.
Yeah. All
right. And for our combined beer tonight, or this episode, comes to us from our friends at Buoy Brewing, our Buoy Beer Company. Buoy Beer Company.
It's Buoy.
In Astoria, Oregon. Right there at the mouth of the Columbia River.
Yeah, it's a great town.
It is a Czech style Pilsner. And let's see what we have on the back here. Bright traditional taste, a classic lightly hopped Pilsner with roots in the great beer heritage of the Czech Republic.
I hear they put more hops.
Our Czech Pils features Saz hops, supporting layers of rounded malt flavors. As right today as it was a few hundred years ago, we've weathered a few trends in our time, and here, history never gets old. I think they could have worded that a little bit better.
Okay.
Myself, but what's the alcohol content on this bad boy? Czech style Pilsner. Fuck, they don't have an alcohol content on it. Wow.
What if their thing is they're non-alcoholic and nobody ever knew?
Yeah. I can never get drunk off of drinking this. Oh, I guess there it is. Turn your light on your phone.
Heaven, let your light shine down.
Oh, there we go. Alcohol is 6.2.
Hey, that's pretty good.
It's 35 IBUs. So there's another thing I learned about beer.
Huh.
The higher the IBUs, the more bitter it's going to be.
Oh, yeah?
That's why you see that IPAs and a lot of pales and shit like that with the super high IBUs because they're always bitter.
The blacker the IBUs, the sweeter the juice. What do you think?
Not bad. Can't get COVID from me.
I might be able to. Well, I can't. I'm double shot. I'm double vaccinated.
No.
It's not the best buoy I've ever had, but it's not bad. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
It's not bad at all.
I get that 3.75
yeah.
too. I think that's 3.75. It ain't dancing in 4 territory. Which actually, and it's kind of got a funky aftertaste. I kind of like it though. You know, it actually kind of tastes like an old school beer, man.
Mm-hmm. It does.
I give it 3.75 still.
Tastes like what a Pilsner was supposed to taste
Exactly,
like.
man. It does taste like a Pilsner. You really get that Pilsner taste on the back end of it.
And I think that's the thing that I've been really enjoying about like lagers and like European style Pilsners is they taste like
beer.
What a fucking beer is traditionally supposed to taste like.
Yeah, it tastes like a beer, man.
Yeah, it tastes like what I would think a beer 100 years ago would taste like.
Yeah, man. I agree.
You know?
I agree.
It's not this.
No, that tastes like what a beer in the 80s would taste like.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, here is a project or a request for our viewers, or listeners, viewers, whatever you want to call it, our dog water hounds. You find us old school beer, like old, like Lucky Lager shit, or like I want some like white can black label beer.
Yeah.
And, just like, I don't even know if like it would still be worth trying to like test it.
If you send us that, we'll send you a Ruckus swag pack.
Yeah.
Send us beer, we'll send you swag. I got plenty of swag.
Yep. I will get those special 8x10s that I keep talking about made up of me on the bearskin rug. And I will personally sign every copy of them.
Yep. He will.
And if you send details of like your name or if it's for a loved one or something, I will personalize it at no extra charge or cost.
There you go. So if your grandma's looking
if your grandma Lucille likes us, I will definitely send old Grammy Lucy a nice 8x11 of the yours truly and a sexy pair of male underwear on a nice bear rug in front of a crackling fire.
It'll be a fake bear rug though because we don't kill bears.
Yeah, see, I actually can obtain a normal bear rug a lot easier than I can a fake one. And I'm all about sustainability and sustainability sportsmanship, shit like that.
That must be nice.
And let's be honest,
I like bears.
And between the two of us, yeah, I like bears also.
I don't kill them unless they kill me.
They fucking taste delicious.
They do not.
Bear meat is really good.
I bet you do know a thing or two about bear meat, don't you?
Bear steaks are...
Grow up, dog bite. Grow up. Bear steaks are not good. They're tough. They're gamey.
No, they aren't. You just didn't have somebody fucking cooking right.
Well, maybe someday I'll come over and you'll have to cook me a good bear steak.
I've had smoked bear sausage. That's really
I've had smoked... Yeah, the smoked bear's okay, but everything's good when it's fucking in jerky. I'd eat a human if it was turned into jerky. It'd be fine.
Try fucking the shit in hoisin sauce. It'll make it good.
Ugh, I don't like hoisin sauce. It's too fucking sweet, man. I don't like
must be too much of that communist liberal teacher thinking installed in you.
Yeah, I don't like that China juice.
You don't like that China juice.
I like ketchup, and that's it. Not on my steak, thank you very much.
Oh, who eats fucking ketchup on their steak?
Oh, I might know somebody's wife who does that.
Oh my god.
I actually dip mine in ranch though. I don't give a fuck.
No.
Dude, well, you know what? I don't buy fancy steak. I buy flank steak and shit,
Yeah.
So, that's pretty tough sometimes,
Yeah.
I did
have a barbecue for you guys.
Dude, I made some fucking New York steak a few weeks back that was muy good.
On a New York, you gotta at least let it set at medium. You gotta have this.
I did medium well. I don't
medium well.
I don't like medium. I usually like my shit well done. Mm-hmm. But with the New York, I went medium well. So it was a little.
You gotta have a bit of pink, just a tinge in the middle.
Yeah, a little juice on the plate.
Yeah.
But I don't like it fucking looking like it just got fucking butchered in front of me.
Yeah, the one thing I've learned with cooking meat like that. This is kind of going away from our beer, but barbecuing is letting your meat set. Mm-hmm. For at least 15 to 20 minutes or 10 to 15
You got to cut it too. You cut it. I cut it into pieces and then I let it sit.
Mm-hmm. See, I've heard you let it sit, let it kind of cook in that last little bit of heat and the juice with it and everything. Mm-hmm. Then let it slice it up and shit.
Yeah.
And it retains that moisture and the juiciness.
Yeah, I cooked it in butter and garlic. That's good. Yeah, and then, but yeah. Oh, speaking of raw food, I had sushi yesterday. You ever do sushi?
Yep. Not a big fan.
Not a big fan?
Not a big fan. I've tried sushi 5 or 6 different ways. I just can't.
Can't do it?
It's not so much the taste. I just can't do it, man. I don't mind it. I will if somebody hey, we're gonna go to sushi. Be like, yeah, okay, cool, I'll go with you.
That's kind of how I am.
But I'm not gonna search. That's not a restaurant I'm fucking searching out to go eat at.
Me either. Claire likes it, so we go about once a year, maybe twice a year. But I'm with you there, man. I'm kind of with you right there.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I don't really care for it.
I tolerate it,
but I'll eat it. It's not awful.
It.
We had the spicy tuna one yesterday, and then the Walla Walla roll, which has got tempered shrimp in the middle of it. Ooh. So the tempered shrimp one's not bad, but every once in a while I still get that hint of fucking raw ass fish on the back end though. That is just ew. I'm not a fish guy anyway.
I tell you something that I cannot eat or stomach when we go to a sushi place like that is that fucking miso soup.
Oh really? I've never had it.
I hate that fucking soup.
Oh, and then I ordered crab puffs yesterday. Let me tell you, crab puffs at a fucking sushi joint are not like crab puffs at a fucking Chinese food restaurant at all. I was like, what the fuck is this? They were really good, though, actually. It was one of the best things I've ever had there. I'd eat a fucking shit ton of those before I'd eat sushi there again. But actually, I mean, I probably will. The old lady likes to get sushi and feel all fancy. It's funny, though. You want to hear a funny story about that? One time I was like, hey, we should try sushi. And she was like, oh, God, no. And then her little friends at work were like, have you ever tried sushi? And she's like, I think we should try sushi. I'm like, you fucking bitch. Why, when it's my idea?
Be part of the popular.
Why, when it's my idea, is it a fucking stupid ass idea?
Because you're not.
Angela says
you're not the popular mom crowd. That's why.
Angela Jones says it's a good idea.
Because you're always keeping up with the Joneses. That's why.
Then we got to get it. And now all of a sudden she likes it. I bet if I would have taken her there, she'd have been like, bleh, bleh.
Well, let's roll on.
Yeah,
what do you say?
Yeah, let's get going. We've got a pretty big interview coming up.
Yeah,
like an hour and a half, folks.
Yeah.
I would say it's a great interview, a little longer than we normally go for, but you know what? Fuck
Very fun.
Very fun. We're having a good time. We didn't cut it. We don't cut interviews more, actually. How I've been doing shit on the Double Talking with Dog Bite, really, but yeah, man, we dive into a little bit of pandemic shit and how the world's working. Talk about some past stuff and current stuff, and just a really goddamn good interview, really.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Very. I was kind of at the beginning, but I'm glad that I kind of got engaged at the end there.
Yeah, man. But yeah, we got. Let's see. So this is always a bit of a fucking mess because we've got 4 songs to announce. So after we're gonna roll into Absinthe Rose, Cry Wolf, followed by Message of Hope by Taillight Rebellion, and then we're gonna do the interview, and then we'll come out of the interview with more Taillight Rebellion, Born Free, followed by hold on, what the fuck is the name of that band? I put it down wrong. We're gonna do Moonshine Brigade. We're gonna do Moonshine Brigade. Voodoo Lady is the name of that one. Voodoo Lady named Phyllis. So we'll be right back with you, folks.
And I come running down them hills. This mess I'm in just reflects all your lonesome tales. Some say I'm kind enough to fear. You cry wolf and I come running.
Bender. Out. It's over.
Don't you want to hear my excuse?
Out.
Thinking of trying out for a scholarship.
Give me the ball, Bender. Give me that ball.
Form so many years before, with friends singing along, keeping time on the kitchen floor. Through laughter and the power of song, the guiding light was found, shining bright right through the night. Others gathered around with a message of hope, a message of hope, to find all the songs that'll hit you when you're low. You won't hear these words on corporate radio. We'll keep singing messages of love, praise and hope. Well, I place my faith in these here 6 strings, rolling American steel, weaving rhymes across the same lines to share on the fire that I feel, chasing Woody Guthrie's ghost under the country roads and the cities all in between, searching for all of us bright-eyed souls with our proud hearts on our sleeve, with a message of hope, a message of hope, to find all the songs that'll hit you when you're low. You won't hear these words on corporate radio. We'll keep singing messages of love, praise and hope. I worked damn hard just to build this up, saw it come crashing on down. I got lost, I got found again, picked up broken pieces right up off the ground, lined with callous hands, a defiant heart. Nothing will stand in our way, in a world that seems to be running on fear. I am not afraid, with a message of hope, a message of hope, to find all the songs that'll hit you when you're low. You won't hear these words on corporate radio. We'll keep singing messages of love, praise, a message of hope, a message of hope, to find all the songs that'll hit you when you're low. You won't hear these words on corporate radio. We'll keep singing messages of love, praise and hope, of love, praise and hope.
Alrighty, folks. With us on the Zoom, we have got Taillight Rebellion. Shit. I'm starting off good. Yeah.
Are you hungover too? I mean, where's this going, man?
Kind of, actually, not really, but I do kind of have a headache, but it is what it is. I think he's a little hungover. He got his COVID shot yesterday.
Yeah, I got my COVID shot, then counteracted it with a 6-pack right afterwards. So
Very smart. You got to make sure that any lingering, bacteria or viral strands can't survive the alcohol.
Yep. Hops and barley water. That's how the C19 gets prevented.
What is it? Topical ointment apply internally.
You guys are down on tour right now, right?
Sort of. More like we crash landed. So because of COVID, we were in the process of moving in between tours and then had to cut our tour short, crash landed up in Ohio. That turned out to be a junkie den. So we ended up having to leave most of our shit behind and stayed out in Western Tennessee for a while, but we didn't have access to like internet or anything. And we're out in the woods. So we kind of went crazy. And we ended up coming down to stay with our dear friends, the Swamp Rats down in Florida, just because. Oh, you know them?
That's a name I haven't heard for a really long time, but I do.
Oh yeah, no, they're still kicking. We've been having some righteous jams with them. Andy and Scotty are some of my favorite people. Oh yeah, Esteban. One of their older members, Wes, still sits in on occasion. But yeah, he's actually up at Bike Week right now. What we didn't know when we got down here was that Florida is entirely open, which was
it's open as shit.
It's like, wow, this sucks, but at the same time, money, because I didn't get a dime of the federal pandemic response. I got like a stimmy, and I think the second stimmy, that $600 check, finally got to my old address, so we're gonna go pick it up in April because we're actually touring back out there. They're doing a big old crawfish boil, and we played the first one, so yeah, we're doing our first week run in over a year. Yeah, shout out to the Peterson compound. But yeah, so it's like just holy shit, we're able to make money again and float. People really don't know how bad it is for like the working class musicians right now.
Yeah, there's a couple musicians that got pretty high on their high horse when it kind of loosened up a bit back in fall, and were running their mouths on the internet about how, you know, you guys shouldn't be playing. And I'm like, motherfucker, like, I get it on both ends, really, you know, because like, so a lot of these
sucks.
Yeah, a lot of these people we know, that's what they do for a fucking living. You know, the musicians that fucking, I don't know, they must have a trust fund or something. The people that don't get it, you know, like, they got some kind of form of income coming in, because if they were just musicians, they would understand why even you might roll the dice on it, you know?
Oh yeah, no, and I think I know a few of those musicians.
I'll take donations to stop.
Yeah, I was to say, if you're so upset that I'm playing shows, pay me not to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's simple. Put your money where your mouth is, or shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
This is America. We were abandoned by our government outright for a very long time. We do what we got to do to survive, and I will not judge a single person doing that.
Yeah, that's how I am. I get it. I get tired of the whole, you know, I get tired of the other side talking about how fucking, you know, it's a hoax and shit like that at the same time, but
yeah,
but I get it on the other end, you know. It's easy. Just show empathy to both, you know.
Yeah, the self-righteousness is equally as bizarre as the hoaxers to me. It's like neither of you are tethered to the very cold, hard reality that this has been for a lot of us, and we're not even touching upon the mental health reasons either. Like, I'm not even gonna, you know, I'm not gonna sugarcoat a goddamn thing during this. We know a unfortunate number of people who ended up killing themselves because of how removed and secluded they became.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even part of the conversation, let alone shaming people for trying to, you know, survive. And yes, this is real. Yes, we know people who've died or had severe problems and complications due to it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you want to know a real severe complication from COVID? Homelessness.
Yeah.
We know a lot of people who are getting evicted and had to leave their place because no money coming in. Especially the service industry got like royally screwed across.
Well, they're still fighting just to get money. The fucking poor music venues, man, they're getting treated worse than the musicians are in a lot of ways, because especially the musicians that had nothing to fall back on, like, oh, we can't even do to-go food orders or fill growlers, you know.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because so everyone, especially it's like to the musicians, will get a job. I'm like, great, so go to the venues that we work at in between tours and work bar that are also closed. Thanks, guy.
Yeah.
Oh man. And yeah, and a lot of the, like, especially the traditional rock and roll rooms, like and like where you would probably have done more like your louder bands, your bands like the goddamn Gallows, the rooms they played, they really had no recourse.
Yep.
And then like we're lucky that a lot of what we play are breweries and Irish pubs, because I originally came up an Irish folk player before I discovered the American side of the paradigm and the whole new roots and country. And really it was Woody Guthrie like 20 something years ago. But so we're able to, it's like, yep, I will definitely play my ass off with your Wild Rover and your Finnegan's Wake and your, you know, just because they're open, and all those Irish places are also restaurants. So almost all of them are still open.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. There's definitely the bigger venues like El Corazon in Seattle's struggling real bad. Slim's is too. Like, you know, a lot of the venues that I love up here, fuck, man, it sucks, dude. So, and there, the government doesn't hardly want to give them a dime, man. There's a whole movement going on right now that's like, hey, bail these fuckers out. You guys bailed the car fucking companies out a few years ago. You can't bail these fucking mom and pop businesses out, you know?
Here's the problem, and this won't be mentioned in any of these conversations on the business level, is they actually want a lot of these larger venues gone, because the second that those larger venue spaces get turned into any kind of residential or high volume, small size commercial like chain, then the cities have quadrupled their tax revenue.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right. Another thing too, especially in cities like Seattle, they kind of want those old venues gone anyways, because they're just throwing up fucking condos everywhere. And like you said, those little businesses, and they ain't bringing the city in any fucking money or enough money to make them happy, you know. So they're pushing them to the outskirts of the city. They don't want them inside anymore.
And then no one can really get out to like they're putting them in places where there's no real public transportation, and a lot of those venues directly relied on that public transit to even get people to go in. Not everywhere can be a country roadhouse.
Yeah.
And so, and it's weird because in my career, which is now, let's see, oh good God.
You think I could con Outback?
Well, I met you like 11 years ago or 12 years ago in Vegas when I was playing with Bob, so you've been around at least
that was so wild. That was such a weird time.
Yeah, that was a weird show.
Yeah, I was trying to keep my own band together, and because, you know, we were a month and a half into our first real tour. We were at that point, you know, young budding punk rock musicians where everyone fucking hated each other. And we all agreed on one thing, and that weekend that you met me, because that's how that even happened was, and I'll even name drop it, because what are they gonna do? Fucking shit talk me on the internet? Yeah. My entire band agreed on one thing: fuck the Briggs, because they were such pieces of shit to us that literally the three people in the band who were almost in a fist fight with each other actually stepped up to the Brig, like, bring it, you assholes, you fucking Los Angeles manufactured douche nozzles. And the guy who got us on the show saw all of this happen, and that's how we got that Bob Wayne slot. He was like, dude, stick around, stay at my place. We'll do karaoke at Dino's, which is a big industry night in Vegas, and hang out, you know, fire up the grill, and then you guys can open for Bob Wayne.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Right on.
Good trade, right?
Yeah.
But you were saying, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I forgot what I was saying. Doesn't matter anyways. We were having a good but yeah, I mean, you were saying, actually, I interrupted you. So you were saying you've been in the business for a while, you know?
Yeah, and it's like the entire touring strategy has changed. You used to go to every major population center because that's where all the venues were. That's where all the people were going. And then somewhere around when those major new wave gentrification pushes, all those condos started popping up. It was around 2011. And like within a span of, I'll say 2 years, we stopped playing the major cities and immediately we're playing, okay, most of our careers in the Midwest now. The Midwest, and like, it's not in like the city. Like, for example, we only go through Asheville because a friend of ours owns a brewery there and we could always play there. Like, our real gigs out in like the mountains in North Carolina are all your like random mountain roadhouses, like our friends, Crystal and Mary at the Watering Hole in Waynesville. And it's more stuff like that, where it's like, oh wow, this is the only place in this one horse town, and everyone's getting buck wild. Completely different than when I started.
Yeah, and that whole mentality changed. You're right too, and it changed probably around 2011, 2012. And I watched it. I was right there, and everybody thought the places to play were the cities. But man, I was booking my hometown, which is where we're at right now, and there's about 1,500, 1,200 people here. And by the time I started booking, people were skipping Portland on the weekends and coming to us in Heppner, which is 4 hours east of Portland in Oregon, because the Portland fucking shows were sucking, man. They'd have the same fucking show on a Wednesday that they would on a Saturday there, but they'd come to Heppner and everybody would be out and everybody would be ready to party. Everybody's drunk, buying merch, So, that whole mentality of the cities as a place to be on the weekends really, really changed after a while because of that reason, And to be honest with you, I never thought about it till now of the reason why, but I guess that makes a shit ton of sense,
And also, there's no one does their art just for money, especially in the sort of music that we all make. But the profit return was so dramatically different, where a lot of the non-city venues, because they have a lot of part-time musicians that can do it as a hobby, they make so much less money in the cities than like a professional touring band, say. I'll use another prime example. We get very well taken care of in Mankato, Minnesota at the Nakado. Shout out to Jake. He's an amazing human. And he's done more, especially for the Midwest, like music community than a lot of folks. Like when we ended up going to the Swamp Rats place, what do they have but a koozie from the Nakado as part of their koozie collection? Because we've all gone through there. And the shows are always great. And I don't even know where I'm going with this point. That's where the hangover lizard brain's kind of kicking in a little.
Sounds like
you
you're
only do so much
care right now.
Oh yeah, right. No, we are actually sitting outside of a Planet Fitness, which is next to a Five Guys. Yeah, talk about your award-winning combo right there.
Yeah, I shit my pants at Five Guys once. Just
I was there. I seen it.
Actually, it was immediately after we left Five Guys, which made it even more inconvenient.
All right, since you're out in Oregon, this actually reminds me of the time I first met darling country performer Allison Self. And we ended up getting, it was Allison Self and Alex Colbreth. This would have been Charlotte, North Carolina. Colbreth. You know Colbreth?
Yeah, he played music festival I put on for a few years out here.
Oh, they're both wonderful, wonderful people.
I actually dropped some accordion on one of his songs recently.
Oh, right on. Cool. Yeah, talented guy.
It's that fucking, whatever the trucker song.
Yeah, the trucker song on his new album, actually, Mouse played the accordion on.
Oh, cool.
It was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, it was probably one of the only good times we had that Ohio house. Oh, man. But so we ended up going to a Golden Corral, all Allison's idea. And then Buck Boswell, who now actually, he went from being the booking agent at the world famous Milestone to owning it. He actually owns a part of rock and roll history. The Milestone, I don't know how much you guys got around, but it is a legendary East Coast rock and roll / punk room that actually predates CBGB's.
Really?
Yeah, like Bad Brains and Nirvana signed the walls there.
Rad. Where's it at again?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, I love North Carolina, man. I think I have heard of that place.
Yeah, but so this motley crew of people goes to the Golden Corral. Now, I won't say I shat myself, but I did a very, very awkward, tight cheek walk promptly right back in and inform them they were going to let me use the bathroom. So I feel you, bud. I feel you.
I think your Salisbury steak's starting to come back out, man. I need to go to your bathroom.
I don't know why they call it a fondue fountain. It's a fondant fountain.
Yeah, my grandpa used to take me there all the time when I was a kid. They didn't have the fondue fountain yet, though. Just soft serve ice cream, but good old Golden Corral, man. You don't even see them out here that much anymore.
No.
I wish
they're not good. We're out in Central Florida, around the general Lake Placid area. Like that's the upscale town. Sebring is the downscale town. We're somewhere in the woods in between. And there's a Golden Corral out there. It's and you just watch we'll say the 55 plus community, more like 65 plus community. They all just kind of flock to it. But at old person times, it's not bumping at 7 or 8. It's bumping at 4.
4, yeah. Dude, I was going to say between 3:30 and 5:30 at the latest. That's the early bird hours.
So I got a question for you guys.
What's up, buddy?
What got you guys doing this? Because clearly I know you've been in the game, Harris, for a while. And I'm just wondering what just got the idea for it. It's hey, we know all these really cool, still very active musicians. I mean, because you had mentioned you guys have had, Mikey on the show, Mikey Classic. Yeah. And I still want to know what that motherfucker said about me. And then Chris Webster was on there too.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So I used to live in Grand Rapids, and he's up there now. Last time we were there was messy.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's kind of like The Interview. I've known Chris for 11 years, man. I love that guy to death. But yeah, he's nothing controversial. I mean, there's nothing left to wonder about him at all. He wears his shit out on his self, which I respect.
Oh yeah, it's just much like all other hard drugs, you have to have limited and controlled usage and exposure to St. Chris. Otherwise, it'll.
That's a good way to put it.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good way to put it. It's progressively. I think he's Benjamin Buttoning too in his brain. He's he kind of gets younger every year instead of older, but a little younger, a little more radical each year.
Oh, he's gonna be wearing neon clothes and
Did you meet him when he was still working in the straight world, or after he just quit the wife, the house, working for the state of Nebraska? Because he started an adult, whatever the hell that's supposed to actually mean, and then just went wee down the slope.
Yeah. Well, what had happened is, and I met him while he was doing this. He was a fucking social worker in the state of Nebraska. He actually would go pull little homeless teenagers out from underneath bridges and stuff. And that's when I met him, is when he was doing that. And he'd show up to shows wearing suits and shit. And everybody thought it was part of his shtick. Well, no, he would just show up after he was at work all day and he wouldn't have time to change. So that's when I met him. And then I met him right after the motherfucking Saints broke up. Because the first time I met him was probably one of the last motherfucking Saints shows. And then he started doing his solo stuff. So I actually met him while he was still kind of transferring, I think.
Oh, wow.
To be honest with you, I think that's what kind of made him. I think that's kind of what made him, pushed him over the edge, was being involved in the system. I think he'd always had that rebellious punk rock thing going, but when he got in the middle of it, he just fucking realized how much he hated it. Just because it's just, my aunt, who is, she's 65 years old. She was, a lesbian, or she is a lesbian currently, but I mean, she had to go through all that when, people would throw beer bottles at your face for holding hands with your girlfriend, so, which legitimately happened to her, but she was a social worker too, and she said she had to retire early because she couldn't fucking handle the politics inside the offices and shit. And she's a sweet lady and was brought up with a middle America background, just typical. Besides being a lesbian, she had a pretty, how do I put it, privileged, I guess, kind of upbringing. You know, she didn't have she's a really sweet lady, but she never really she was never poor or anything. You know, so pretty average middle class upbringing. So,
Weird, and this is also in the the time I've been being a professional musician, the term privileged now has shifted entirely. When you said privileged 15 years ago, you expected like a Mercedes and like, the white picket fence, but like almost pushing mansion-esque type things. Now you say privilege and it's like, oh man, you're not homeless. That's so cool.
Yeah. Or you grew up in the suburbs.
Yeah, one thing they kind of turned it into a dirty word though. You know, people get like all offended by it. Like, I'm not privileged. I have to work. I'm like, dude, like, calm down. Like, everybody's got some kind of privilege for something. It's not a bad word.
Yeah.
Just because you're white privilege shouldn't be a bad word, you know? Like, don't.
Oh, no. Okay, here's the thing. I kind of love the fact that the cops don't immediately try to kill me. That's privilege.
Yeah.
But that also is me using that white privilege to say it exists and that's a goddamn problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's our responsibility, I think, as the people that have that privilege to fucking bring it to people's attention. You know?
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem with not understanding it is the people that don't understand it and they've never had to deal with it, or seen it even, like they've never taken the chance or the time to step out of their bubble and go someplace and look around for a minute outside of what they're stuck in, day to day.
That's okay. I noticed something because one of the things I pride myself, we play a lot of, places that might not have some of the most forward-thinking people, but I notice I'm able, I try to reach out to them and build common ground. And maybe if I can get somebody to not vote as opposed to say vote for Trump, that's a victory.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite stories, we were playing somewhere on the edge of the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina, Spindale. Yeah. I wasn't going to be specific, but yeah, it was Spindale, North Carolina. And this big fucking burly fucking swinging ginger bearded Viking type looking motherfucker biker. He's like, oh, you guys sounded great, but I doubt we get along politically. I'm like, all right, let's test that. I don't think we're that different. And it's like, all right, let's start with the basics. You probably just want to be left the fuck alone, right? You don't give a damn what your neighbor or what you're doing. You could be snorting whatever you so choose, growing marijuana, whatever. You don't care. You just want to be left alone. You don't care. What is that old adage? I'm like, you like guns? And he's like, yeah, I'm actually into all of this. And the first step I took to breach, I'm like, you don't care if it's two dudes living on a the property adjacent to yours banging. He's like, no, why would I care? Exactly. No one cares. It's at the time it was like 2019. And this is the only curveball I threw him. Is we already agreed on guns. Let people live their lives how they so choose. And I'm like, all right, I'd like to think in the richest country of the world, we can do better than GoFundMes for healthcare for when your mom gets cancer. And he stops and goes, you're right, man. We actually do have a lot in common. And that's the thing. It's like when you can start avoiding all the scary, I hate to say it, the right-wing media buzzwords that they use to terrify people and break it down to very accessible real-world points, people will start to listen. Yeah. And likewise, I equally terrify a lot of the white Wonder Bread fucking, neoliberals who are like, Biden's our Lord and Savior. I'm like, Biden is he's so hard right that he wouldn't be allowed in any left party anywhere else in the Western world.
Yeah.
You don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not real happy, but I'm happier, I guess. So at least the way I said it is, at least we can get back to bitching about politics and because of you know, who's running the country and how they're running it over like basic shit, like whether our president's racist or fucking a piece of shit, you know.
That we all
It
know.
was getting real bad out in so we were in Memphis, outside of Memphis. So we're already talking about the racist suburb.
How'd you go to
outside
Gus's
of
Fried Chicken?
What's it?
Did you go to
Oh,
Gus's
Gus's?
Fried Chicken?
Little known thing though, Payne's Barbecue
Oh, really?
on Lamar. Oh yeah, it's an old filling station, like garage, and they converted the chimney into a smoker.
Jesus Christ.
Yep, it's hood as hell. It's been run by the same family since they opened it. You walk in, it smells like a small plate of heaven coming out of that stove. And they still got a gas stove they do all the sauces on too. Their slaw is a spicy mustard base too. Like, yeah, like you get the sweats after you eat a plate there. Our banjo player tries to make a point of hitting Payne's every time he comes up.
We took the money, passed out in the back of the van, woke up and finished his plate.
Did you hear that? All right, good.
That's funny. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you, buddy. You're talking about something outside Memphis and where it's getting bad.
Okay, so here we are in the height of you know, Trump mania. We're starting to see like blatant fucking Nazi shirts.
Yeah.
Like literally there's this boost, like trying to think. These like, you know, that those like roid like juicer fucking meatheads.
Oh, yeah.
So this meathead in like what looked like a triple lifted truck, like a super extra heavy duty Hemi. It's like, bruh, this thing's spotless. You don't use this for anything other than stroking your ego.
Well, and compensating for a tiny.
But yeah, dude's like, you know, juiced up, jacked out. And he's wearing a straight up Shushenstop lightning bolt shirt.
Fuck it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the biggest thing is he really made it okay for those fucking pieces of shit to just be blatantly proud to be out in public.
And the worst part is because it's Millington, if I stepped up, I would have gone to jail.
Yeah.
He would have walked. Because this is the suburb that was more or less founded because they wanted to get away. They wanted a town in between Millington, like it's a neighborhood in between Memphis and Millington proper is literally called Whitehaven. Yeah. I'm sure I don't have to explain as to why it was called that.
Yeah.
So, yep. Yeah.
And so it's like being in that kind of like, you know, the old South and not like the progressive South, like, you know, Charlotte, like, you know, Atlanta, even though Atlanta has a lot of problems. So does Charlotte. But like I'd never seen this level of, quite frankly, like neo-fascist mobilization in my entire life.
Yeah.
That Portland, Oregon, actually has a very historically racist past like that. With that's honestly the suburbs in America. You know, they weren't only people leaving the city; they were getting away from some of the other people in the cities.
And specifically, you know what was the primary creation point of almost every suburb in America? Redlining. Specifically, these town developments were like loans, grants, etc., exclusively for the privileged white folk to build safe havens.
I couldn't think of that. I knew it was a color. I couldn't think of the name, the redlining. Yeah, I couldn't think of that.
Honestly, the term hasn't been used in 50 years.
No, it has.
Yeah, it's like only people, we're rediscovering the history books that they tried to take away from us so we wouldn't find out.
You know, if you really think about it, with all those condos and stuff going in those neighborhoods, they're financially redlining people these days.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it's like, and the weird thing is, I didn't think it was possible, but they're actually successfully whitewashing what was already a half white culture, you know, since artists tend to break bread with everyone and tend to be mixed, you know, ethnicities across the board. And like, so it's a global experience. Yeah, art is a global experience. And quite frankly, almost all American music is, right, what's the term? Black? in origin, and they're literally finding the artists got taken over by hipsters posturing to be artists, get taken over by the people who are, you're making too much with your DJ party, to now the gastropub with their $20 burgers has to shut down by 10 p.m. because it's upsetting the upstairs neighbors.
Yeah.
Wow, that put me on an impressive rant. Thank you. Everyone's like, do you ever calm down with age? No, you just learn to handle it better. I'm still as pissed off as I was.
I'm not more, dude. If you want me to be honest, I thought I would calm down with age, but I think I'm just more angry and more vocal about it.
Well, that's the thing. I'm you know how there's a kind of uncontrolled rage that makes it's a fairly destructive force in your life?
Mm-hmm.
This is a different kind of rage. I acknowledge this is all broken, but I don't carry the weight of it. I just run my mouth instead.
Yeah.
You know, it's like as opposed to me like, you're such a piece of shit. Nah, man, fuck you. You're wrong. What you gonna do about it? But you know, if you want to throw hands, I'll toss them right back, bud. It's like, and that's one of the few aspects I can cash in some of my white privilege. I am, you know, a male presenting 200 fucking pound jacked motherfucker who actually has some oi roots. I can fight. I haven't done it in a while, but I can still do it. And we're actually gym rats, especially while touring.
Yeah.
You have to be. Otherwise, you're sitting all the time. Then you're playing in bars, so you're drinking all the time. So it's like there has to
be as intimidating as possible.
Exactly.
Well, it's a shower too, man. If you get a 24-hour fitness membership, you can shower in every town you go to if it's got one.
That's actually why I originally got the membership, was for showers everywhere. For literally 2 truck stop showers is the price of a month membership.
I wish I would have thought about it when I was touring. I never did, because I watched a lot of pro wrestling, and one of the wrestlers was talking about how when he toured, he would even cook his food in there because they'd let him use the outlet to use his George Foreman grill to cook, and he'd eat healthier and he'd be better, just better way of living that way, because he'd work out, eat, and shower, and you got everything you need.
Yeah, man, I am all about it. And though today we've got another St. Patrick's Day gig coming up. We're playing actually a place called Kilted Mermaid, and it's kind of an institution here. We don't actually have time to work out today, but we are here to shower after the interview and get cleaned up, So it's like, how weirdly topical. Let's see. I doubt you could probably see it, but you can see the pla. It happens around with Manit Twitness. I'm sure y'all can piece that one together.
But yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know. I wish I would have thought of it when I was touring it real heavy.
Yeah, no time like the present, man. Also, I don't say I have a lot of bad habits. I have enough where there's got to be balance. Yeah. I take my vitamins, I try to stay hydrated, and I work out. I figure that has to at least give me some edge on the rampant alcoholism and now part-time cannabis consumption.
Well, I quit all my habits, dude, and I'm more unhealthy now than I ever used to be, really. So I'm just now getting into working out, and it sucks, but I like it at the same time. I'm feeling better, but man, when I quit doing all my bad shit, I put on probably 200 pounds, man.
Oh, dude. Okay, so that was one. So I learned that although sobriety is a beautiful thing, and I do almost all of my writing sober.
Mm-hmm.
But as a general living life thing, I've discovered overindulgence is not good. And honestly, underindulgence in my case, I find a good steady 2 or 3 drinks is way better than sobriety for me, because I don't have much patience for ignorance at this point in my life. And that anger, as you would mention, has only gotten louder and louder. So finding that sweet spot has helped me tremendously, as opposed to the horrific excess I used to do.
Yeah.
And it all kind of topped out back in 2016. A good friend of mine, who was also a huge influence on my writing, had passed. Eric Peterson, Mischief Brew, if you're familiar. And there were some, we'll just say, embarrassing shows for the sheer volume of whiskey I drank beforehand. And it's like, after you blow a couple shows in a row, you have some decisions to make. You either change gears or you don't fuck up more and quit. Be it the music, be it the booze, you have to, like, it's going to catch you one way or the other.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the other thing I never thought I'd say. Fucking moderation rules, man.
Yeah, that's my thing. I'm trying to get a hold of that moderation, dude, because like my diet, dude, was it's just insane. So that's what I replaced it with. You know, I replaced all my unhappy thoughts and my bad habits that used to compress those, and replaced it with just eating a shit ton and drinking soda. You know, so
it's funny because I had quit like sugar outside of like beer a long time ago. Like I was in college, which, yeah, shout out for being the last generation that could actually afford to pay for state university. Jesus Christ. Like my parents helped me out some. Actually, I'd say about 2/3 of it. And then like my old man lost his job, so I just immediately started working full time. Took me an extra year to finish it because I couldn't go, school full time and work full time until I did the last semester. Oh boy, that almost killed me. At one point, somebody I was seeing at the time was doing their senior paper on how I had PTSD from working and going to school full time. Can't make this up. But the fact of the matter is, I'm 41. That was the last generation that could do that. It's like you can't even go to like, I don't know, Iowa State without like, racking up $50,000 in debt now. And that's insane to me.
Yeah, most of the time
you can't go to community college without racking up a huge bunch of debt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because, rent don't pay itself.
Nope. Yeah, and then most of the things you do at a community college, you can't, they won't let you finish it there anyways. It's just to start out so they can send you off to a more expensive fucking college. The good thing is I see a shift in that, though. My wife has gotten off on pretty cheap loans because of doing online courses and stuff like that, and being able to like do it at her own pace. And so she's got some debt, but it's well, that, and we avoided getting married for a long time because then she could register as a single mom. But so we did milk the system a bit, but
the system is broken and milks us.
Yeah.
Taking back what should be ours is no shame whatsoever.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it, man. They tax the fuck out of me every month, so.
As somebody who's been independently employed since I was 26, so for a while now, I'm not going to do the math right now because, quite frankly, I don't want to feel that old. Yeah. But so at one point while living in Massachusetts, it dawned on me I was paying 33% in taxes, which is more than half of Europe pays, and get none of the benefits.
Yeah.
Zero. If that doesn't make you angry, I don't know what will.
Yeah, we moved away from England to get away from that shit. Yeah. Yeah, and then where's if I could see
representation and a Senate.
Thanks, if I could see a positive outcome from it, besides just making rich people richer, I'd be happy to pay it. But like you said earlier, people got to start GoFundMe pages to fucking help their mom out with their cancer bills. So I'm a little fucking irritated,
Yep. And are they fighting? Okay.
No.
It sounded like for a split second there are two women that were arguing loudly behind us, and I was like, "What? Florida? Hey, Florida, Florida." So my family, I have family pretty much all over the country at this point, and it's like I really don't spend a lot, even though I'm from like the Northeast. I don't spend much time on the East Coast anymore, so it's kind of a rub to be back here. And it's like all the aggression and like complete dehumanization that goes on just on the daily. It's just like you're either angry all the time or you just sit back and like, man, you guys actually lived like animals. Don't you feel bad about this?
Yeah, Florida's a bit of my I think it's probably my least favorite state in America, to be honest with you. It's got some cool parts to it, but yeah.
Florida has some of the best people I know in this mess. Okay, another state I feel the exact same way about. Love our friends, but as a whole, the state can go fuck off is Texas.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about New York.
And New York's another one. Yeah,
Wyoming.
it's like
Wyoming.
There are just a lot of places that I feel like, being a traveling musician, the second I cross their border, the odds of me getting like arrested and hassled by the police just skyrocket.
Idaho.
I was just about ready to say Idaho for us.
Idaho.
Idaho's a completely non-cannabis friendly state, so.
Why?
Yeah.
Because they're fucking ran by Mormons, basically. It's ran by Mormons. I'm not going to sugarcoat that at all. Iowa is Mormons in the south and white supremacists in the north, and probably a little bit of mixture of all.
So both the person we'll call my mentor in Irish folk and my long-running fiddle player of the Swagger and Growlers are both from Spokane, Washington.
Oh yeah,
and I had been there a bunch, and believe you me, I am familiar with the white supremacist compounds of Coeur d'Alene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ryan Seiler was on the road from Rock Bottom and 36-inch wheels, and he was like, "Guys, why haven't you told me about how like amazing Coeur d'Alene is?" And literally, we all just chimed in. We didn't think you were into Nazis, bud.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the eastern side of Oregon's kind of the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that like went straight from the pioneering plotted land grants to sundown laws, almost like hand in hand?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. There was a couple towns around this area that used to have, racist signs at the bottom of the town sign that says, do not be caught in town after dark.
Jesus Christ, man. And it's like, people wonder.
But it's the sugar-coated history that we're fed the whole time that's, that doesn't let us in our liberal state know that we have a fucked up racist history.
Oh, yeah. And it's like,
this is country.
It's weird because one of the other generational things I've seen was the original whitewash history of, growing up in the 80s and 90s in New Hampshire to, where the southern states seceded for states' rights. Yeah, what were those rights, bud? What were they about? To the complete dumbing down as, 5, 10, 15, some people even, pushing 20 years younger than me, don't even have a basic knowledge of civics whatsoever, because that's how much they've dumbed down the American educational system. And I hear this also coming from the teachers who lament this fact, because they can't even teach people basics because they don't even know the foundation. And it's like, so having watched this huge, I don't know how the government works, but I also don't know the racist foundation of our entire history, or why even racism is bad. I know why Trumpism happened in America in 2016 and will continue onward for a long time. I watched it get built, the perfect social cocktail for it.
Exactly.
I'm sure you guys have been front window seat out in Oregon, though I will say, nice to see the anti-fascists stepping up and throwing bricks and fists accordingly. Like, that actually warmed my heart.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty hot and heavy over this way, man. They've done just about everything they could to paint it into a something it's not, so.
Where's my George Soros check? I mean, feds ain't even giving me a check. Where's my Soros check for being a part of Antifa Inc.?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, dude, Biden's letting me down. My boy Soros is letting me down. I don't even have a Bill Gates chip. Come on, man.
Yeah. I got the vaccine and the government hasn't taken over my mind yet. I'm fucking disappointed.
I don't know. I kind of feel a little bit dumber today than I did yesterday. So I don't know if it's like progressively just gonna like, and like here in a few months I'm gonna be driving a jacked up pickup and fucking, listening to Justin Bieber and
Luke Bryan,
Luke Combs.
Luke Combs. God,
one of those. It's funny because one of those Nashville douche nozzles was actually an underwriter for somebody else, but then the Music Row decided he was pretty enough, to have his own career.
Yeah. Who the fuck was that?
I can't remember. And it's like, he's not a bad writer. It's like he was good at manufacturing country songs, which is exactly how you get hired as a songwriter in Nashville. Unless you're Jason Isbell.
Was it Jamie Johnson? That you're thinking?
Oh, sorry, go.
Was it Jamie Johnson you're thinking of?
Might be. I don't remember. Stone Wikipedia reading at like 3 a.m. is what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
But then, and then you get the odd and very rare Jason Isbell, who
they still treat those guys.
No circumstance should have any business writing in Nashville, let alone it fueling his, already, impressive career.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow he was able to weasel his way in, and good on him for it. For one of the most unforgiving aspects of the music industry, he was able to retain both artistic control and dignity, and get paid to write for other people as well as himself.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. There's a few guys like that, man, that I really admire. Sturgill Simpson's another one.
Oh, God, he breaks all the rules just because he can.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of them. Yeah, there's a few more, too. I mean, I've always been a Ryan Bingham fan, too, but I'm not sure he quite hits that mold. But
I was a big fan of the early Chris Stapleton with like the Steel Drivers.
Dude, the Steel Drivers were phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I feel like everyone came to that party late.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, the Steel Drivers are another 357 as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
It's like lightning struck. Were you there for it or not?
Yeah, dude. That's a good topic, man. The 357 string band, dude. I love hearing people talk about them like, oh, I gotta see 357 string band when Jake Orvis was still in the band. Like I love it, man. Like I went and watched Joe Huber in Portland a couple years back, and he had Billy Cook playing fiddle, or not fiddle.
I love Billy Cook very much.
Yeah, he's such a good friend to me. He played on my last album. I love that guy. But he had Billy with him. And I loved hearing all these younger kids talk about, 357 string band and shit. Like, I think they're one that their legacy's going to live on, man. I really believe that. And I didn't realize just how much they were they have that kind of niche underground love still until I went and watched him live in Portland. The house was packed just because of the fact that he was, a member of that band. People came out and watched it, And I don't think it's just because of that fact. I mean, Joe's a fucking hell of a singer-songwriter in his own right, But
honestly, Joe. All right, Derek, phenomenal writer.
Yeah.
Joe, phenomenal writer. Jake, phenomenal writer. The ripples that when you get that much creativity and brilliance in one space, they're gonna be felt for a while, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, though I will say one of my few, because I've like, so my old Kelto, I can't even call it Kelto at that point. More or less just like folk punk band. But you can't even say that now because I'm folk punk like Mischief Brew and the Pogues and like, Defiance, Ohio was, which now you say folk punk and people are like, We the Heathens and Days. And I'm like, no, man, I just came from a punk background that learned how to play folk. And that shift, I'm not even like, okay, everything changes, and also how we view things, language changes. The neat thing that did was it gave me more credibility of being an actual folk player.
Yeah.
I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But like, I mentioned this because 357, like we were perpetually playing the same places back in 2009 that they'd hit like 2 nights before, them and the Gallows. Like the touring circle, albeit bigger then, was also very specific. Like there were road rooms, and it's like we were perpetually 2 to 3 days behind both 357 and the Gallows on that first 2-month tour. And then again, what was it, 2011, because How I Met Derek Dunn was, I believe that was supposed to be the last booked 357 tour, but he did it himself after they broke up. And we were, weirdly enough, down in Florida, and our show fell through. This fantastic darling of a promoter, Root Cellar Productions, Kate O'Shea, now Kate O'Hubbard. She's like, well, you guys got a fiddle in the band. Do you guys mind hopping on Alt Country Bill? And it turned out to be like Carolina Still and Derek Dunn. And like watching him, and then we opened, and then he immediately saw my guitar, which has This Machine Will Set Us Free, and goes to what is it, Johnny there from the last band, the Swagger and Growlers. I'm gonna play this one for you. And he immediately plays Union Made by Woody Guthrie. I was like, oh, I'm gonna like this dude.
Yeah.
We end up just getting like dumb high back at Kate's house. He tells me how his band broke up. All this is like, he doesn't know what to do with himself. He doesn't want to go back to work. And like, I think it was like at one point he was working at like a candy factory. And he was just so like very intense, very fiery, but very endearing. And it was Derek Dunn. I immediately checked out all the 357 stuff like the next day and fell madly in love.
Yeah, Derek,
like,
I don't think Derek gets enough credit for what that band did. You know, everybody, it irritates me when people are like, oh, we're going to have a 357 reunion, and then it's like Joe and Jake, you know? Like, I don't see fucking Rick Ness there. I don't fucking see Derek Dunn there. It's like, you can have Honeycutt fill in all day long. It's still not the 357 string band, you know?
Well, I can understand dealing with Mike's schedule because he, you know, his career is film. You disappear for months at a time when you're on project. Now, when I first saw them get back together, it was the last Farmageddon Records Fest in Wisconsin. And it was Derek, Jake, and Joe. And they played like 3 or 4 songs together. And Honeycutt, Sloan, and McGovern were backing them.
That's pretty
cool. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, okay, that I get it, because at the I think Rick was busy doing Deadliest Catch or something.
Yeah, he's still doing the gold rush. He's probably the most successful out of all those guys now. He's mining gold for a living every week on the Discovery Channel.
Millions of dollars.
That's wild, man. That's
crazy.
And
I
wish he's the only one I didn't get to meet. Like, and that kind of bums me out, because, like, you know, my old band, I actually, you know, I met the Gallows in 2011 as well. We had kicked off the same tour that I'd met Derek on with the goddamn Gallows when they were opening for the Real Mackenzies. And like, Jake wasn't with him. It was after the first time he left, because the Broken Band had exploded, to which, hilariously enough, my old buddy Jared McGovern was slapping the upright, and I knew him from when he was still stationed in Connecticut playing with a rockabilly band.
Yeah, what was the name of that band? I forgot.
Soul Reapin' 3.
That's right, and he went to Bob Wayne from there, and then from there he went to... Yeah.
We're all incestuous bastards.
Yeah, we are, for sure, man. It's funny how shit gets around. Bob Wayne now has a rule in his band that that the members can't date each other. And then Lucy Cochran and Ryan Clackner, immediately the two that joined the band after those two hooked up and then left to do their own thing, because it's probably because they got tired of Bob. But you know, But yeah, he's
You know,
got
I've never really gotten to know Bob. I mean, I have no idea what it's like to work with him or anything, but Lord knows he puts on a good show.
The night you met us, I still don't think you met Bob. That night he was back trying to nail some chick in the back of the camper while we were sitting there awkwardly fucking waiting. And there was like, I remember like there was these weird people outside, and so then we started hearing people knock on the trailer. We're like, fuck, man, these people are gonna like they're gonna fucking cause some shit now. And then finally we hear, hey guys, it's the band that opened for you. Or we're like, oh shit, it's the band that opened for us. It's not. But it wasn't you guys. There were some other guys out there before, but we thought you were these other people. So we're like being really quiet at first because we didn't want to go through the door. And like then I was like, those guys probably thought we were dicks because fucking they probably thought we were trying to avoid talking to them because we thought they were these other people. But yeah, you guys came on the old John Deere and hung out for a while he sat in the back trying to fucking pick up on some chick.
One of the things I appreciate about doing, especially these kind of interviews with other people who've been playing, who've toured, is like, okay, that's an entire aspect of a very, very memorable night or very memorable weekend of that, real folk country first tour I did. That I had no idea those details.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool to hear more different sides of what was going on.
Yeah, that was cool, man. And I actually fell in love with the Swaggering Growlers that night, man. We used to play you back in the day on a Dogwater when we first started doing Dogwater, like 10 years ago. We'd always play you guys, man. We love playing you.
Yeah, and that was the weird thing because I have a lot of feelings about that band. Most of which were wrapped around the primarily egocentric drummer of the time who took on the social face because believe it or not, I wasn't as boisterous or able to command the same center of attention. And I only learned that because of him. Dude straight up was like a narcissistic borderline personality case.
Yeah, we had a roommate like that once.
But like, I spent so much time managing that band and trying to keep it afloat. I never saw or really got any idea the effect or if even people cared until like I was hearing about it like a few years later while touring as Taillight Rebellion. Oh yeah, you were in the Swaggering Growlers, man. I was a huge fan. I'm like, we had fans? What the fuck?
That's funny. Yeah, no, I might even still have a few of those old albums, but I'm not sure. They might have got tossed in my last move because I'm not sure they survived my daughter's toddler phase. A lot of my CDs and DVDs got fucking ruined during her 3 to 5 era.
Now, I don't see it ever going up on like the streaming services because quite frankly, fuck them. But I will like all the shit's up on the Taillight Rebellion Bandcamp, like, and I don't even have the masters. Like the flak rips are directly from the CD, and there's no originals of anything except for Outlaw Waltz left. And honestly, quite frankly, the drummer was so jacked out on pills, like I can't even listen to that album without hearing all the timing problems. However, it did give birth to my recording career, and I've been a recording, mixing, mastering, and now production engineer for over 10 years from the fact.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was actually the second album I recorded. Well, actually, the first one I fully recorded. The second one I mixed and mastered. Because I only got into that game because our second album was done by a buddy who didn't quite know what they were doing. Love him to death. But then it was rushed out to production, it should have actually had a professional mix and it didn't. And it got rushed out the door. And to say I was unhappy with it is an understatement. It kind of screwed us in the long run because we couldn't actually have, we're trying to compete with bands, being manufactured in LA and San Francisco left and right. And we have what sounds like a basement recording on a Tascam. It's like, we're not going to get picked up under those circumstances. Yeah, and I knew it.
Tascams were popular back in that generation. I think a lot of us ended up recording on those fucking things.
Oh, yeah. If it wasn't a Tascam, it was the Fostex 4-track.
Yeah, or a big thing with us is we'd get like just a good interface or something, and then just hook it straight into Pro Tools and a laptop too.
Yep. Actually, I got the same interface that it was recorded on to do all my own mixing, and I've had it for over 11 years now. That was the Presonus FirePod.
Yeah.
The only thing I do differently now is I feed it better preamps. And then, like, you know, I've actually re-recorded and rewritten a lot of those songs. And the Taillight Rebellion for me was more, it didn't even feel like a band change so much as a mode change. Okay, we're talking about condos, gentrification, disappearing rock rooms. If you didn't see that writing on the wall in 2013, you weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
So when, you know, the Swagger and Growler is, I'd say somewhere between imploded and exploded. Couple bad runs. Yeah, I mean, there hit a point where certain members wouldn't go back out on the road if other members stayed in the band.
Oh God.
And effectively we had no lead section or rhythm section outside of the bass player, and the worst part is none of them will admit this to this day, because I know what they both told me. I just, you know, it's like, I won't go and be in the same room as so and so, I'll never go on tour with so and so again. And it's like, all right. At that point, it's just like I didn't know what to do, because, you know, that'd been 9 straight years of my life. I just kept my songs and I just started playing them on box drums, just because I didn't know what to do with myself. I just didn't know. Yeah. And it stuck way better than the Swagger and Growlers ever did. Some asshole sitting on a box. Go figure.
It's more financially fucking sound for you to do that, probably, too, you know?
Oh, God, yeah. I would never I can't even foresee, like, feasibly. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of legends within our community. Somebody who I also think does not get the credit or notoriety that he deserves, or they deserve as a whole, but they do well for themselves. Carrie Nation and the Speakeasy. Jared, like, because he's, okay, Carrie Nation started only 2 years after the Growlers started. He's been at this for a while. And, like, everyone talks about Joe Huber. Everyone talks about, you know, Jake Orvis. All, you know, rightly deserving, incredibly talented people. More people should be talking about Jared Starling.
Yeah.
And then he's probably, if he ever listens to this, will make fun of me for this blatant bro job I just gave him. Don't care. He's been nothing but a decent dude ever since I met him.
Yeah, he was good booker too, man.
Oh, he's great. What was it? I forget. What was he working with Bucket City for a while and then
maybe
just went
he's
independent?
probably better off doing his own thing if he is anymore, you know. Personally, I won't get too far into it because I don't know who you're cool with or who you're not, but I've never been a fan of Bucket City myself. But
I don't have any relationship. I've heard, politely put, I've heard it literally depends on the agent. Like, Bucket City was never really Bucket City. It's who you worked with in Bucket City. Some were better than others, apparently.
I
don't know.
With Atomic too. I mean, I've had Atomic's a nightmare unless you get like the 2 good bookers they have, you know.
Yep, I've heard that from multiple parties that I won't name names to, because, you know, I will talk all the shit possibly, because what am I going to do at this point?
Yeah, I got you. You just don't want to drag somebody else into it. Yeah, I got you.
I can fight my own battles. They can fight their own.
Yeah, and what they tell you in confidence as a friend is, you know, too. That's a different story.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I noticed there's certain things that I've stopped being quiet about, because that's also unprofessional in certain places. Like, okay, we were supposed to play a place in Fort Pierce that they didn't tell us it was an outdoor only venue. They also didn't tell us that it could cancel due to rain. And they also didn't tell us until, like, literally that morning. And it was worded so badly, we didn't even know that they could even cancel. Like, we didn't even catch that.
And then he was like, he basically admitted to expecting to not be able to keep his word on the guarantee we agreed on.
And it's like,
And it was
so
like, wow, okay, fuck you.
yeah, it's like, bro, you're having us come out like what, 2 hours, and you weren't even going to like pay us, like actually pay us, or like, and it depended on how well you did. Wow,
Should have said that.
you are a piece of shit. You are a con man and a thief. And yeah, so I added him on social media, and he's like, well, you guys are fucking unprofessional. I'm like, no, I am so professional that your unprofessionalism pissed me off. If this is the music industry, you'll be gone in 2 years. My 20-year career, guess what? I'm probably going to still be here next year.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident about that fact. And if that makes me hard to work with because I want to get paid for my trade, then so be it.
Tired of being undervalued as a fucking artist.
Yeah, man.
It's completely dehumanizing, you know? Like we're
We're people, and it's like, this is a trade. This isn't like, we've honed in our skills for multiple years. You can at least give us the basic respect of like
being able to feed ourselves.
Yeah, like, okay, let's talk real numbers. $300, $100 an hour for a 2-piece is not too much to ask. That is a somewhere close to a living wage. And that's if you are able to do all the tax write-offs, which also fuck trunk for that. I lost all my personal deductions, so I have to actually incorporate everything if I want to write gas off again.
That's
Then too, some of those bar owners or venue owners don't understand. Some of the breaks, or you got to pay an electrician or a carpenter to come in. $100 an hour, that's getting off pretty damn cheap.
Bingo. Like, we actually, like, for a lot of these kind of venues, we're doing at least 125 now.
It's just the two of us, though.
And, well, I mean, the thing is, it should be at least 100 per hour per person, as well as a base 100 for vehicle expense. And that's just living wage. That's not if you're actually, commanding numbers of, like, people showing up. That's just being able to keep people from leaving. You're this high to ride this ride.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anyone in our circle doing the music we do, we don't drive people away. Why? Because we have it's a honed trade, Yes, it's an art, but we're songsmiths. We're performers, professionally speaking. We keep people in a room. Hell, arguably my stand-up lately is doing better than some of the songs. Because to keep some of those 3-hour gigs entertaining, especially on the East Coast, I love to start like talking to people in the audience. Like, smash that fourth wall right the fuck down. Be like, oh, you thought you could just be non-engaged. No, this is a performance. You're now a part of it. And like, that gets me further half the time than like, just like, I can hoot and holler and stomp all I want. I could sing, or I could folk fuck.
Yeah.
Won't break anyone, but hey man, so you're here with your family, huh? What you doing tonight? Clearly you're day drinking, so you're already kind of my people. I'll just start in like I would if I didn't have a mic in hand.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it too, because I think with today's society, man, a big change that's happened is you got to offer people something in order to get them into your music. The whole aspect and the mentality of I'm a musician that's good enough isn't flying anymore. Just pay attention to me because I'm playing isn't good enough. You got to offer them something, because I think it's got something to do with these. Everybody feels special because they got their own little Facebook and their own little platform to talk about their feelings and shit. So that's where they So I think that's what it's got a little bit to do with that, So like, but yeah, I think that's a good mentality to look at. You really got to engage with people, and because the music just sometimes doesn't engage enough anymore,
You got off from a
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that, man?
I said, you got off from a whole thing. You just can't give them ice water.
Yeah.
Or just a steak, I want a little potato and some asparagus with my steak, is probably the way to look at it.
Well, the way I look at it too is maybe I'm a little selfish. It's like these shows, I want to have a good time too.
Mm-hmm.
A room full of boring toe tappers, if they're even engaged at all, isn't going to be a good time for me. I will even call people like, I see you're tapping your toe. You're aggressively tapping that foot. I'm guessing this is your people's kind way of dancing and like, living life. But Yeah, right. Yeah, we don't want you to strain your ankle, Becky. But anything to at least get them engaged. So many people, especially with the advent of the smartphone here, are checked out of their own lives.
Yeah. They I feel like people live a double life. They live the life in here and then the life out here, and I think this has taken more priority, really. And I've had to come to that realization with myself. I've had to fucking make myself put that fucker down more. Because I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's fake. It's like a fake life you live.
Oh, and the weird thing is now, like, I noticed something. I don't. Okay. When driving, the only reason I get anxiety about not having a phone is because it is now effectively a GPS too. I literally can't travel without a GPS system in America 2021. So that's a thing. I almost want to get a separate GPS unit at this point. Because the other thing I'm noticing is because of how, I'm going to be blunt, boring Americans have become, like, social media here doesn't even hold my attention because no one's doing anything. Like, yeah, I don't see my friends doing things. Yeah, like, we're all professional creatives on some level, or have been, could be like, part-time now. Like, okay, we know an Austin, Texas songwriter by the name of Spencer Braley. Dude's a genius writer. He needs something more stable than a gig life. He currently does a lot of audio work for University of Iowa. But I still very much hold him in the professional camp. Why don't I see any of his shit, even though he's prolific? Okay, why don't I don't even see Mikey post shit. Speaking of, Mikey Classic. But you know what I'll see? His picture of fucking Caldwell. I won't hear any of his content, anything interesting that I care about. Though I do care about his dog. His dog is a sweetheart. Caldwell's the running joke last time we played Reggie's when he was doing the quarantine rooftop shows. I still think he is, actually. But it's like, yo, Mikey, the Caldwell delivery service is here. Oh, wait, you want to get in too? It's like, you're here to pick up Caldwell. I love Mikey, man. It was actually Mikey who taught me how to play banjo.
Really?
Oh, yeah, we were really stoned as shit one night after Swagger and Growlers were in town. I think it was like 2013. He actually showed me the basics of clawhammer.
Cool. Yeah, Mike's a good dude, man. He's always been he's always been my favorite Gallo, man. And it's weird because it's kind of rare that you can say, it's kind of rare I say that about like the leader of a band a lot of the times. Usually it's like, hey, I get along with the bass player or the fiddle player better, But I've always really liked Mikey, man. He's a good dude.
I will say I don't have a bad word to say about any of the Gallows.
I don't either.
Except fucking Avery.
Oh.
Because he was not kind to a lot of people. And at the end of the day, yeah, I'm brash, I run my mouth, but there's got to be a basic kindness and respect that he just didn't have. Whereas like Courtney, sweetheart, as much as, people talk about how angry Uriah gets, he's been nothing but kind over the years. You need to get into the show, he's got you. You need to, need to hit off that joint, got you, boo. Like, he's been solid. Yeah. And Mikey has, anytime we're in town, asks if we need a place to stay, want to go grab tacos. He's actually showed us a few dope taco joints in Chicago. There's this one, actually, one of his favorites. They do a double tortilla where they put cheese in between before they even do up the it's mwah. One of the running jokes that I blatantly stole from Jared Starling is we tour to support our regional food habits.
Yeah, kind of, man. Yeah, I do have my places for sure. But, dude, I'll tell you about Chicago and Reggie's. Their fucking wings there are probably the best wings I've ever had in my fucking life, dude.
Okay, yeah. So we don't even have to ask Mikey anymore when we played. He's just like, let me guess, double order the wings. What was it, the sweet heat? And It's like, yep. Like, I'm pretty sure last time they just showed up.
Yeah. Yeah, those things are amazing. I fucking love them. Yeah, I played Moonrunners a couple years back, and they just had him out on the buffet for all the bands. It's like, son of a bitch.
Dude, shout out to Joshy. I actually met Joshy back in the Swagger and Growlers days. We were on his old Outlaw Country show twice.
Yeah.
You know, and then we played, and then Taillight played Moonrunners in 2016. We were supposed to play 2020. We ended up doing live stream. He's a solid dude. And one of the few people who'll randomly hit me up, be like, "Yo, man, how you doing? Things going all right?" Just because he cares.
Yeah.
I can't say that about a lot of people, man.
Yeah, Joshy's good, man. He's good people, and he's an OG, dude. He's been around for fucking ever, man, and he's been a constant, you know. When we first met, we didn't really like each other. He's hanging out with the guy from Saving Country Music a lot, and we kind of had a tiff, and then one day you kind of realized
I've heard he's a polarizing individual, that one. I don't know him personally. I've never crossed paths because I've never been country enough to be considered.
He's not. Have you ever seen the guy? Like, I don't like to stereotype people, but
he's an ass.
We're pretty anti-Saving Country Music on this joint. I'm a Gary Hayes country guy myself. You want to hear?
I met Gary Hayes at Muddy Roots a few years back. He was a nice dude. Our friend Marla actually did photography for him the last month. Was it 2019 Muddy Roots? Oh, Muddy. I will say this. One of the best feelings in the world was playing Muddy Roots high noon Wednesday. Thursday. I expected a dead, we're playing at noon. It's Thursday. People are still working.
Yeah.
And we were playing, the worst part is we were playing opposite dear friends of ours. Black Tarpoon was on the other stage. And no, we both ended up playing to fully packed tents. And we got the whole, are you familiar with Heavy Rebel Weekender?
Yeah.
We got the whole throwing PBR cans thing going during our set. And then I think we ended up closing out with "You're not an outlaw, you're a piece of shit." Me just calling out all those fucking wannabe redneck racist pieces of shit that were starting to show up. And there was a bunch of Confederate flag backpatchers that were there that all ended up turning tail when the crowd turned on them when they were trying to step up during that song. Yeah. And I was and that's actually, what was it? Tara from Rock Bottom actually came up and thanked me after that. It's everyone says that, music doesn't change a fucking thing. They're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this has been a great interview, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Everyone gets to find out I'm simultaneously over-caffeinated, spazzy, and ramblingly overly affectionate. Okay, cool. I'm done.
At least we got we got stuff. You're interacting and you weren't relying on me to cherry pick questions, which I fucking hate those kind of interviews, man. And there's a few people when you get them on, they kind of okay, interview me. I'm dude, I just kind of want to talk.
I was assuming the format I've learned, especially from other musicians, we learned how to speak and socialize at a professional level. Every night we're hanging out, learning how to talk to people. You do this long enough, you get okay at it. Especially if you're not coming from the rock star persona, I'm so-and-so. I should be, ask me your questions. It's nah, bro. And it's I'll share a pipe with you. I'll share a drink with you. We're hanging out, man. And these are the best kind of interviews, because then you can just chop it up and find entertaining clips and, make me look better than I probably should.
Yeah, we actually just roll it, man. We don't edit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man, everyone's gonna know I'm insane.
They can fucking edit it themselves if they want to fast forward through shit, because I think it takes away a lot of the time when you try to chop shit up, man. I'll do it occasionally if we get way onto if somebody's okay, off the record, then I'll be all right. I'll look at the time, we'll mark it, I'll go back, I'll clip it out, and then I'll clip it back together. But for the most part, I just let it roll, man.
And it's funny because so one of the man of many hats, both literally and figuratively at this point in my life, starting to do a lot more video work because that's how everyone finds about music, period. I can't even remember the last time I didn't get a new artist that wasn't from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like we're starting to do video production. And we're talking about doing some promotion. We're doing a run with the Swamp Rats up to Tennessee in April. Shameless plug. And so we're talking about doing some like shorts to post on like YouTube and Facebook, and like the different techniques that you can do at like almost TikTok levels, where it's like, okay, we have a lot of funny shit, but a lot of weird, dumb, meandering conversation in between. We got to, watch it and do a series of jump takes, and that'll be the best way to do that. But then like interviews, free flow is always best.
Yeah. And I've thought about taking that concept that you're doing and applying it to shit like TikTok to get people to draw in to listen to the whole show. Just cherry pick like those good, really sweet moments.
That's a really good idea. Yeah. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah.
Also, thank you for being another outlet like that actually is not only talking about music that interests me, or at least the organic side of music that interests me. Lord knows I become a massive fucking like indie hip hop kid somewhere at the ripe old age of 41.
But it's because it's authentic still, kind of. It's an authentic form of music, and that's what I like, man.
And so let's be honest. If you didn't go into folk as a lyricist, you went into hip hop. All of the good writers went one way, the other way, or both. Like, okay, one of my favorite hip hop artists out of Raleigh, North Carolina, actually started as a punk metalhead, did some rootsy stuff, and then his hip hop career is what stuck. And like, it's all valid, it's all sincere, and it's like, if you're one-dimensional with your genre tastes in 2021, you're missing music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like honest music, man. That's where that's pretty much the only fucking quality I have in what kind of music I like is honesty. Whether it's angry, sad, happy, something, as long as it's fucking honest, I'm okay with it. I might not be my cup of tea, but I find I do end up liking it more if it's just honest. I don't give a fuck about genre.
You mean like those really honest songs that have been coming out? Cold beer,
oh yeah,
hot pickups, short shorts, cute girl, smoking funny things.
Like I've been
really touching the American spirit.
See, I probably have like 70s like funk and old Curtis Mayfield shit.
Yeah, man, soul music's good.
I am soul, and that's the thing. Hip hop led me to funk and soul. Like Motown. I've been on a massive like early rock and roll through Motown kick for the last like 3 years. Because that's a lot of what was sampled in half those hip hop tracks.
Yeah, a lot of it was. Yeah,
Chess Records,
dude. Chess Records. Just okay. The whole story around Muddy Waters, Chess Records, aka Cadillac Records, all of it. It's so interesting just to see how the literal foundation of so much music all happened from one record label in Chicago.
And how like two of the major blues influences of like time absolutely hated one another.
Yep. God, and that was the thing. Feuds were a thing back then. It's like there was nothing. All right. So I'm almost convinced, I'm glad you mentioned that was Prince's inspiration for doing the fake then real feud with More Stay in the Time. He literally created a feud band and then it turned into a real feud. And I sincerely wonder if it goes back to Chess Records and he drew inspiration from that. Because quite frankly, Prince was that kind of genius.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say Prince. I'm wearing a Purple Rain shirt right now.
Oh, damn. I didn't even notice that their subliminal marketing technique you're using.
There's your
Gates Soros chip kicking in, man.
I know I'm gonna be turning into a bot here, fucking, soon. So.
All right. Yeah, we got to cut too. I got to shower, and then we got to get actually on site at this place. I didn't realize it's 6:30 already.
Yeah, we went real long, and that's fine. We're getting good shit. So, but thanks for coming on, man. You're more than welcome to come back on. Before we end, let's. Is there anything you want to plug before we go? Like shows coming up, albums coming up, anything like that?
Albums. Okay, so within this year, I was starting the process. Like we're starting with an EP of all the old like Irish traditional songs just to have out there because we need it for booking. And it's kind of nice revisiting a lot of that, 20 years later. And not only that, there's the very angry, borderline, punk rock feeling COVID record. And then there's the return to like just wanting, the good things that you loved about doing this record. So it's like, and my goal for the first time in my career being a CD kid is all of these will be vinyl length.
Oh.
Sweet.
Yeah, because like from Louisville, Kentucky to New York City to Portland, Oregon, and everywhere in between, everyone's listening to records again and they prefer it.
Mm-hmm. We've done a few different polls.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, do you know Jake Klein? Does the Symptoms? They're a popish punk band out of Portland, Oregon. Jake has since moved to Memphis, but the band still tours and they have for like the last 10 plus years. We were hanging out at his house before we left Memphis, and like he's got crazy record collection, and we were just nerding out about sound quality. And it's like, no, man, this isn't a fad that started 10 years ago. This is real, and people who are actually a fan of music are doing this. So our goal is to do. So that's 2 LPs and what's looking like a string of EPs of various traditional music, and getting it all out there and to all press it to vinyl.
Yeah, right on, man. Cool.
So yeah, that's what I'm plugging. And of course, everything's going to be downloadable. We're going to be doing like YouTube video after YouTube video live sessions, because if me as an artist, my more recent Colton Wall doing the I forget the name of the brewery session, and just hearing that voice, I was like, that's YouTube. Any hip hop artist I've gotten to in the last 10 years, YouTube. It's like I'm noticing a theme here.
Yeah.
So we're trying to generate a lot more video content too. So subscribe to our YouTube. It should be Taillight Rebel. All right. I think I'm done.
Done? All right, buddy. Hey, thanks again for coming on. We'll get you back on soon.
Oh, hell yeah, man. And by all means, we got the Wild Party, which has been doing very well. Our Facebook group, promote everything in there. We'll try to, whenever we see it, repost it, but feel free. The whole point of that space is to share the media that you can't see by posting in a regular feed. That like, okay, half of the Muddy Rootsers see shit from the other half of the Muddy Rootsers they wouldn't have seen unless it was posted in our group.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm trying to foster more of that because especially, East-West divide's a real thing, and I want to bridge that gap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, do you guys know Robert's Roost at all?
Yeah, I know Robert's Roost.
Okay. Mark's been a homie for years too. It's just like so many folks back here have never heard of them.
Yeah.
And I want to fix that.
Yeah. 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 I get that. It's tough, man. Well, it's even harder since nobody's able to tour right now, but
nobody's doing a damn thing. Yeah. All right. I gotta hard cut this. It's 6:30. When do we want to get there? 7?
Get there kind of soon.
Yeah. All right. So we got to run in.
Sorry, buddy. Have a good day.
All right, man. Thank you again. Take care, man.
Guys.
In the world full of expectation, I'm not sure I believe. A handful of worry is the life I wanna lead. I got this one love in my veins, madness in my heart. Like don't know where I'm going.
lady. You can ask her for a favor, but it won't be coming easy. Better start it out to lose control, 'cause Bondi's got your soul. Bring out your holy water and the crucifixes. Tear out some nails no one ever misses. Strip the tree down to its bark. Dr. John has laughed this mark. With pains in my arms, pains in my chest, pains in me, heart attack, 5-finger grass, dragon block sticks. Who would you and Chris, I'll get you say I'm doing fine. While she drinks my blood like wine, and all she'll ever do is tell you lies. Voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady. Crossroads, sit down with Pop Blackball, consulting a Zulu dancer. She's the Black Madonna. Calvin, who's the main is where you're at, and there's no turning back. With pains in my arms, pains in my chest, pains in me, heart attack, 5-finger grass, dragon block sticks. Would you and Chris, I'll get you say I'm doing fine. While she drinks my blood like wine, and all she'll ever do is tell you lies. Voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady. Possession. She's become your boat, walking like a zombie. What more could you ask for? Mary Laveau has told you so. Better Samedi will know. Pains in my arms, pains in my chest, pains in me, heart attack, 5-finger grass, dragon block sticks. Who would you and Chris, I'll get you say I'm doing fine. While she drinks my blood like wine, and all she'll ever do is tell me lies, 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 lies. Voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady, voodoo lady.
Macho Man Randy Savage is not a hippie. Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in. Outside interference, yeah. I'm living in a nightmare. But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah. I am the cream. Yeah, let me say it, yeah. Let me say it out loud. The cream of the crop. I am the cream. I am The cream, yeah. The cream of the crop! I'm on my way. On balance, off balance, doesn't matter. Nobody does it better.
Oh, howdy folks, we're back. You just witnessed an hour and a half of interview with Taylor Rebellion. That was, fucking really great interview, man.
Yeah. Very enjoyable.
Let's see. So to kick that whole block off, we did, before the interview, we did Absinthe Rose, Cry Wolf, followed by Message of Hope by Taillight Rebellion. Then you guys heard the interview. Then directly after the interview, you heard Taillight Rebellion again, Born Free. And then just right before we came back on, you heard Moonshine Brigade, Voodoo Lady. Shout out to Moonshine Brigade for hitting us up and sending us some stuff this week. That was cool. We're getting a lot of inquiries. So if you would like to hear your band played on Dogwater Radio, just simply send us a link to your music and a brief description and a what's up to Dogwater Radio. That's all lowercase letters. Dogwaterradio@gmail.com. That's also where you can hit up your dear whatever.
Black. Well, our Dogwater listener mail.
Yeah, the Dogwater.
Our Dogwater listener mail segment that we hope people are going to engage in, we hope.
But yeah, so let's see. A little bit about Moonshine Brigade. Let's see if I can find their bio here.
Also, if you're a band and you guys also want to send us some like stickers and a koozie or two, and I believe the Ruckus sweatshop could use, some decorations in it.
We also, and we'll be making a set as well here pretty soon and start doing videos. So if you, you might have yourself a little piece of merch on the show every week if you send it, like a sticker or something. Maybe we'll do like a sticker board to go behind
there
us
we
or
go.
something.
There we go. I think that's
Ramblin' Rob's
instead of the pin vest, we got the Dogwater sticker board.
Yeah, so
we'll when you bands, if you want to send us your stuff like that, hit Dogbite up and he'll give you the mailing address, and we'll fucking make it happen.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? I'll make that a project too. I'll make a cool looking sticker. Maybe put some like metal behind it, just in case. Unless your band doesn't have stickers and y'all have magnets, we can put those up too.
Yeah. So all right. Yeah. So
either way, send us some fucking merch.
Yeah. So they're a 4-piece band. I don't see where they're out of.
Oh. I like the name.
Yeah, you too, and their logo's cool too. Yeah. So anyways, Moonshine Brigade. We'll be playing a little more of them too. Thanks for sending your music in, guys. We appreciate it. I'm trying to, sometimes on this show, we get going, and I'm bad about giving the little details about the music that's sent to us. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to slow it down a bit and focus on that. And make sure that we're getting the song titles right, the artist right, making sure that we're getting the information out there.
And they're getting the links that you can be able to find them and listen to them at,
Yeah.
We're trying, just as much as like we want to try and make this as professional as we possibly can. There's
not taking away the hijinks.
I know, but there's some little glitches.
Yeah, we need to work on some things
that makes this show as special as it is.
But yeah, we got some growth to do, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna bring you a better product this year. We're really working on it.
At the end of this season, we will make sure that we have something that we're gonna leave for the next season, even better.
Yeah. So but anyway, so without further ado, before we get into our top 5, which we decided to do top 5 books this week, which was kind of a last minute deal.
I was going to say, you have some big information about the Ruckus. What word are you calling it now?
We're calling it Ruckus in the Internet.
There you go.
This is what we're calling it. So, it's looking like, I don't have all the details right now. Watch for the flyers because they'll be coming out, but this is just for all you die-hard Ruckus fans to hear. And maybe, I don't know, maybe the flyer will beat this to the to the internet, but Ruckus and the Internet's looking like it's going to be April 24th, live from the Ruckus and the Records YouTube channel. Time to start is to be announced. And this roster might change because I've still got some people pending. So this roster could get bigger. Bigger than it is now. And I personally, there's a lot of great bands on here. I want to thank them all for coming together. And you know what? Hopefully, this is the last online festival that we have to do. Things are opening back up slowly.
People's getting their vaccines.
I actually booked my first live show for Ruckus last week. I'm not going to give the details on it yet because I don't know if it's going to happen, but I did secure a spot to do a Ruckus show up in Tacoma. So if you follow me close enough, you probably don't have to do a lot of research to figure out where that's going to be. But I don't know who or what or if it's going to happen. But we did reserve a spot just in case things are open because we want to be on the front end of shit coming back. So
fuck yeah.
I got faith that it'll be ready by the time I put it in.
We want to be the ones that are basically taking the boot and kicking the door open.
Yep, we want to be there for you guys too. Yep. So anyways, until then, we got to do Ruckus on the Internet. And I just want to thank all these bands for donating their time to us to do this. But here we go. Without further ado, we're going to start. I'm going to save the headliners for last. But in no particular order.
Sure, hold on.
Sweet G.A. Brown. Been a fucking big part of Dogwater Radio's return. Was on the Ruckus and Place compilation album. One of my new favorites, actually. Hell of a songwriter.
I like Sweet G.A. Brown.
Yeah. And then we got Devin North from North 131, another Dogwater band that's been on quite a bit. He's going to do a solo set. Mr. Billy Hood, man. Ooh. Coming straight off the Ruckus and the Records roster. OG Ruckus supporter, all around fucking badass and good-hearted gentleman, Mr. Billy Hood.
OG Ruckus, back in the day, friend, basically.
And another Ruckus diehard supporter, Ruckus and the Records artist. We just had him on the show a couple weeks ago. Abraham and the Old Gods are going to be contributing to set.
Nice.
Another coming up next. Another one, fucking OG dog by friend, Ruckus supporter, Ruckus member, card holding member, Mr. Felix fucking Thursday.
Ooh.
He'll be doing a set.
Oh, Fifi the Spectacular.
Yeah. Myself, I will be doing a solo set.
Nice.
I know you guys are excited. But I do have a new song up. If you guys are bored, go listen to my new song. It's called My Best Song. It's just a play on words. It's not really my best song. But anyways, that's up on Spotify to stream. And I probably will play that on that set as well. And then Acoustic Nor, man. Ooh. He was on the just did a double talking episode with him, beating cancer's ass this year.
Nice.
Coming back, man, looking good. Just got himself a piece of property down in New Mexico. Good friend of ours, Ruckus and the Boonies, alumni, if you will. Been played 3 out of 5, I think. Yeah, love that guy, man. He's gonna be. And then some new friends of ours that we just played a couple weeks ago, and also, hell, I'll give you guys another little spoiler alert that I haven't fucking told anybody yet. While we're making announcements, the newest Ruckus and the Records roster members, and somebody we played on the show a little bit as of lately, and they're going to be playing a set for this. The Suburban Drug Dealers, Ruckus and the Records' first international band out of fucking Sweden. We fucked that up on the show. I forgot to correct it.
That's all right.
Yeah, we said England. We said England, but they're not Sweden. They live in Sweden, but most of they got an American member, 2 English members. This is why we thought they were from England. And then I think they got maybe one with Sweden too, but I don't know.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, man, they're gonna be. I'm sure they appreciate that. But yeah, they'll be.
I think that's pretty cool. Though.
We'll be putting an EP out with them, and I think that Jake Orvis and Liz Sloan both played on that EP. If not, they played on a past one. So I'll be having more deals for that, more announcements for that. But I'm waiting to do the big internet announcement for when we get art done for it.
Dude, that's a country that I've always kind of wanted to.
Yeah,
go
dude,
to.
Sweden's
like Sweden,
cool, man.
Switzerland, the non I guess you could say like the non top 5 like European countries. Like
Yeah.
I like more like to go to those like like Sweden, Portugal, cool shit like that. Anyways, sorry.
That's all right. I kind of went on a tangent there. Anyways, up next, I would say the bread and butter of Ruckus and the Records. I like to refer to them as my little engine that could. The Stoned Evergreen Travelers will be contributing a set as well. Up next, kind of the freshman of the bunch, but actually now he's kind of a varsity player with everything that's been going on. And one of the fucking people that I have the most fucking faith in on the label is Cole Hinkle and the Debauchery, or some of the people I should say, not just him, because Amy's in the band as well.
Mr. Cole and Miss Amy.
Yep, gonna be
my chilada drinking buddy.
Yeah. And up next, man, one of the probably fucking most underrated country singers in our little niche community that I have had the privilege of booking and doing business with. Dusty Rust will be on.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah, I knew you'd be.
Fucking love that dude.
And
is he still living up there out of Walla Walla? Up in the East Washington area? Or did he move back down to like Kansas?
I don't know. No, he's not in Kansas. I know he's still in this area. He might be in Oregon, actually.
Oh, okay.
And then coming out of retirement just this year, making waves. I did a episode of Double Talking with this cat a few weeks ago. Slack Guy Slim will be contributing a set to Ruckus and the Internet. We talked about him in the interview. One of my oldest, dearest friends. If you are into cancel culture, you're gonna want to fucking hold out on this fucking set. You're gonna want to maybe you're gonna maybe want to change the channel for a few minutes. Maybe put on Muppet Babies or fucking.
No, because fucking Muppet Babies are probably like the next like cancel culture target.
But yeah, Mr. St. Christopher will be doing a set for me.
Instead of just like put on some like raindrop music and some flutes and stuff, and then come back after Chris is done. But for the rest of us that actually want to listen to Chris's set, it'll probably be phenomenal.
We'll see, or it'll be garbage, but.
Well, it's 50-50 with Mr. Webster.
We'll see what he records on and how loud he sings.
Like I said,
doubt it'll be a set to go to sleep to.
It's 50-50 with Mr. Webster.
No, it'll probably all be good, It's
It'll be
just
fantastic. It's Chris.
But it's just that it might be loud. Sometimes who knows how he's recording? We'll see. But it's gonna be fucking St. Chris either way.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Up next, one of my favorite artists, person-wise and artist-wise. Also did an episode of Double Talking with him a few weeks back. Mr. Lauren Walker Madsen will be contributing a set to Ruckus and the Internet.
Nice.
This is where he's one of the big hitters. I should have announced it. Well, they're all big hitters, but here we go.
Here's the majors.
Cody O and Joey Henry from the Calamity Cubes will both be contributing fucking single sets to the Ruckus and the Internet. Cody O has requested to go by Cody Sky, which is his real name. So I think he's doing a rebuilding or just trying to get known for more of his real name since he's doing more of a solo thing. But yeah, and then we got Joey Henry and the Sunshine what is it? Dirty Sunshine Club, I think is what he goes by. And then we got WhiskeyDick coming in to do a set, and last but not least, our big headliners, the fucking Pine Box Boys, are going to be donating a set. There could be more coming. They got a couple fucking really good bands on the maybe list. But yeah, man, it's looking like April 24th is going to be the date for that. We hope to have you guys come on, donate a few bucks. I'm not sure. Donate some money to the bands that are playing. Put yourself a $20 bill aside and just give everybody $1, and that'll go a ways for everybody, I think. So,
you know what? Or do this: figure out how much money that you'd spend going out to a live show, and we're talking like, buying merch, buying booze.
Well,
cover charge.
You'll probably be able to buy merch.
Buy merch. But like you figure, okay, cover charge and buying alcohol like all night long, right? Take whatever you're gonna spend on that, which is probably for most of us gonna be more than $20.
Probably at least 60.
60. You know what? Take that 60, split it up between the bands. Instead of $1, give them $5. Or give them whatever you think that you would want to give them. If you want to give some, give them there. But we hope that you contribute to all these amazing artists.
Yeah. And if you're broke, you're broke.
Yeah, and just enjoy it then.
Yep.
That's the whole thing.
But if you can,
if you can give a little, all we're asking for is just a mere 10 cents a day. It's just the cost of a cup of coffee.
Do you or a loved one have problems with drinking fucking flat beverages?
You fucking have problems with your fucking beers going flash?
But yeah, so it's going to be fun. I'm really excited.
Yep.
Going out. Hopefully this is the last one of these we do, to be honest.
Are you going to do your set from here at the Ruckus Sweatshop?
I have not decided yet.
I think you should. I think you should build like a neat little area.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Put a banner up behind you.
Yeah.
Some stickers.
It's pretty echo in here, though.
A couple canned koozies.
Man, that fridge is really good. That beer is still ice cold.
Yep. All right.
So
we got what are our top 5 this week is...
Top 5 books.
Top 5 books. And yes... For most of you that are wondering, we do fucking read sometimes.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. I need to actually start picking some books up and read them again.
Yeah, I got a stack of them I haven't read yet.
Yeah, I have a series of... Well, I have 3 left in the series that I need to finish.
What series?
Thunder Over the Ocean.
Oh, yeah, I want to read that.
The second-sided history of Oregon.
Yeah, I kind of want to hear. I kind of want to read that.
I love those books.
Do you want to go first since I did the first on the beer?
Yeah, actually, I will. So, all right. So my books from least to favorite. I shouldn't say least favorite, but the most
Justin.
Need
adjusting.
Yeah, just one. All right, here we go. Sorry. Anyways, from 5th to 1st, and I guess the 5th one I was kind of thinking and kind of going with the cancel culture problems of the last couple weeks. I'm picking Dr. Seuss's Bigger, Better Battle Book. That actually, it was a fun book as a kid. And the more as an adult you look into it, it was teaching a fine line between accepting people, different cultures, the arms race of the Cold War era. Just a whole bunch of shit like that. No racist cartoons or anything in it. So, none of the problems that we need to, hang Dr. Seuss about. And, okay, so my next one after that is Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely loved all the movies. Still love the movies getting put out. But about a year or two after the book, this was the first, long, major book that I tried to read. well, I shouldn't say tried to read, but I started reading. And a lot of people don't realize that the beginning of the two movies are actually what the beginnings of the books were, the different books. Like, so the beginning of Jurassic Park was actually the beginning of The Lost World and vice versa.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But just a really good, very cool Michael Crichton book. I've always been a big fucking dinosaur nerd. As you can hear in my fucking, in the Abraham and the Old God, talking to AB in that, interview. My third one would be The Hobbit.
Oh, yeah. I bet it is. You like to go to the Shire.
I like going to the Shire. No, I love that book. Loved absolutely was probably my favorite cartoon movie as a kid. Was The Hobbit, like animation movie. And just then Janie Allen, Mrs. Allen, we read the book in her class in 6th grade.
Huh, she never read it. I don't know, it's probably 5th.
5th grade.
She never read that with us.
Yeah, we read that. And
Cricket in Times Square.
There's another book that I read with, actually I read that in 4th grade with Pat Hinchins.
Yeah. Well, I picked mostly adult books, but I'll go into children's books, and I did pick a preteen book, so I kind of tried to spread it out. But
actually, my main book is a preteen, but my fourth one, will be number 2, it'll be the Thunder Over the Oshkosh series. It's a little lesser known series. It deals with a lot of the
things about cancel culture.
A lot of the lesser known history of the Northwest and the Native Americans in our area, and a lot of the founding of Oregon Oregon Trail, fur trapper era. Basically, when this was majorly just a territory.
Pretty much like Mexico.
Yeah, it was basically like either southern Canada or southern England or northern Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So, and my number 1, Sign of the Beaver.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I'm surprised you didn't have Hatchet on there.
I was never really a Hatchet fan.
I thought you were.
It was all right.
Or Call of the Wild. I thought you were Call of the Wild guy too.
Yeah, I wasn't really a big Jack London fan. Sign of the Beaver. Love the book. It's a kid's book. It was a Newbery Award winner. If you've never read it, it basically deals with a kid that was, I believe it was pre-Revolutionary War, living in upstate Maine, kind of on the Maine-Canada border. And his dad ends up leaving and basically leaves him out in the wilderness to fend for himself for like months on end. And he ends up befriending like the native tribe there, and it's a very, very good book. I actually
that's kind of like, you remember Island of the Blue Dolphins?
A little bit. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit, but
that was a good one too. I think that was also a Newbery book.
Mm-hmm. I believe that was a Gary Paulson book too.
Was it?
Was it?
Nah, I don't think so. Let me look it up.
Yeah.
Was Gary Paulson's The Sign of the Beaver, right?
No, Gary Paulson was Hatchet.
Okay. Island of the Blue Dolphins is based on a true story.
Yeah.
But you know what happened to that girl? Scott Odell, as he did.
Okay.
You know what happened to that lady is they went and found her after she'd been on that island forever, and they went to see if she was still alive, and they came and got her, and they brought her back to America, and she died of disease.
Yeah, because like she'd been fucking...
Yep, took her to Montana. That's where she died at. It was in Montana. She died of fucking measles or some shit.
Instead of just leaving her on the island.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it was kind of fabricated. The story was a little fabricated in the book, though.
Yeah, just like how everything is.
But yeah, man.
Well, so what's your 5?
My top 5. My top 5, and I could have actually, I like a lot of the shit that I've read is biographies, because I really like to know, like, a lot about the artists that inspire me. and the people just in general that inspire me. So I like to really dig deep. I like to know how their minds tick and why they think the way they do. So I got a couple biographies on here, but this one in particular is Heavier Than Heaven. This is a really fucking important book for me. In high school, it's Kurt Cobain's biography. Really good book. Really good book. And it was the first one that was honest, because a lot of books before this came out were from him just talking shit and telling fucking fake stories and stuff. And so I read this one. And there's another one called called Who Killed Kurt Cobain. That was a good one too. It's about the murder conspiracy. You know, I'm pretty much convinced, you know, a lot of people make fun of me and shit like that, but if you've done as much research as I have on the fucking topic, you would understand why it's kind of ridiculous to me that there was never a murder case opened on this.
Yeah.
I'm like 90% sure that fucking Kurt Cobain committed suicide. I don't think there was like any possible way he could have.
I mean, was murdered.
Yeah, it was murdered. I don't think there's any way in hell he could have committed suicide.
I don't think Courtney Love herself was the one that shot
No, she
but
wasn't.
I do believe that she might have
No, I mean,
been
and then the
part
private
of it.
investigator that looked into it pretty much, I think, nailed the whole scenario on the head. He found out who the murderer was and figured it out. And the guy, at least who he thought it was, you know, Courtney hired a nanny that became close to them, but she hired him. Also, the person that did the autopsy on the body was an old concert promoter for Hole that turned to a fucking mortician. Like, everybody surrounding this and all the weird things that happened, it was an open and shut case in like 24 hours. And in a regular person's suicide that has no money and every reason to kill themselves, it's not a 24-hour open and shut case. You know, so the cops, there's some dirty fucking cops involved. There's all kinds of shit involved. And if you really look into that, you know what? I should go into a whole episode of this. Like, I think Cody High actually suggested we do this a while back, and I don't know why we never revisited it. We should do a segment of fucking conspiracy theories.
Oh, hell yeah.
Every once in a while.
I got a lot of conspiracy theories that we can...
Like real ones.
I actually listened to a podcast weekly called Conspiracy Theories.
Really? Is it Jesse Ventura's?
No.
No, he's got it.
Yeah, I know.
It's good, too.
No, it's actually two people. I can't remember exactly right off the top of my head their names, but it just the title of the podcast is called Conspiracy Theories.
But I've looked so much into this, I'd have to refresh myself a little bit and pull some things up. But I mean, we could do a whole fucking segment, a whole special episode where maybe we don't even play any music that's or do an interview, but we just focus on a conspiracy theory. So, but I'm not going to go too much further into it, but I'm pretty sure that Kurt Cobain was fucking murdered.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that Courtney Love, they were going to get a fucking divorce. She was already fucking Billy Corgan. And he had a fucking prenup put into play when they got married. So she wouldn't have got a fucking dime when they got divorced. She would be a penniless fucking whore right now if she was still alive.
What she is now.
So she's got money because she's got all that fucking Nirvana money, man. She still makes dough. She's probably richer than fucking Dave Grohl is.
I think Dave Grohl should fucking pay a hitman to kill her.
Or fucking, especially Chris Novoselic would have more.
Yes.
Fucking, he's one of the best fucking bass players in one of the best bands ever, and he probably has dick to show for it. I mean, I'm sure that
got some gold records.
I'm sure. I'm sure that fucking Chris Novoselic has his cut of Nirvana. I'm sure made sure he has never had to work again a day in his life, and then the extra coin he picks up to do speeches at colleges and shit like that probably helps too.
Money.
But I don't think he's living in a mansion. As a matter of fact, I think he's living in the outskirts of Aberdeen where he fucking grew up in some real modest house. He's not in a big mansion, I don't think. I think he's in a very modest house, probably a 3-bedroom, fucking couple bath in the
We should go look
woods.
it up.
We should go hang out.
We should go
Hey,
look him up.
Chris.
Hey, we do a podcast.
But
we think you're cool. All right, sorry.
But yeah, I mean, but yeah, he'd be the one to have the fucking reason to fucking kill that bitch, because the fact she's making more money than him off his band is ridiculous. You know, I'm glad that her daughter's turned out to be a decent human being because she's got a lot of that money too, and she's not a psycho bitch like her mom.
No.
But anyway, so my number 3, this one I know is a favorite of yours as well. Have a Nice Day, Mick Foley's biography.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good book, man. I also found out that his first car was the same first car that I had, 1979 Ford Fairmont. He lived in his while he learned how to wrestle from, I think, Killer Kowalski taught him to wrestle.
I believe so.
Yeah, and that's a cool book, man. If you're a wrestling fan, I highly suggest. Mick Foley's good, man. He's a good. I've read 3 of his books.
That was the first wrestling biography I'd ever read.
Yeah, I read a bunch more after that. It's the best.
Probably, yeah, it was the best.
There's not another one that was even close to as good. Or honest, I don't think, really.
No, yeah, because
they really churched Austin's up, and Bret Hart's was written from anger. His was written really from anger. He went out
Jericho's was pretty decent. I never read it, but like from the reviews that I've read.
I never read his actual biography, the one that WWE put out, but I read one later that was like kind of a self-help book. That was pretty cool. Like just how he approaches life and how he handles being positive and doing work, you know.
I don't care what anybody says about Chris Jericho. I like Jericho. I think he, not so much as a wrestling entity, but just as like a podcaster and as a musician.
He's good. He's a good wrestler.
Oh, he's a great wrestler.
And I think since he's moved to AEW, he's gonna go down as one of the greatest of all time.
I think this new feud with him and MJF is gonna do wonders.
Yeah, hopefully it spices that shit show up. We should have Tim come on and we should do a special wrestling episode.
Yeah, we should.
Maybe just to add to the flavor, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, because we know we all love music and everything, but you know what? Every once in a while, we kind of need to throw something different together just so we don't run out of shit.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, number 2 this is one of my favorite books of all time. This is the first. I think this was the first like kind of adultish book I read. It was more of a preteen book, young adult novel, as you say, and I could say. This author is one of my favorite authors of all time, and she's written books that I actually enjoyed a little more than this one, but I've read this one a bunch. It's one of my favorite movies too. Outsiders by Essie Hinton.
Hell yes.
Such a good book, and every one of her books are great. She also did Rumblefish. She did That Was Then and This Is Now. She did a book called Tex. Taming the Star Runner, which is a lesser known book that was probably one of her best ones, I think. I feel like I'm missing a big one. But yeah, great books, man. I've reread most of those multiple times because they're that good. And then my favorite author of all time, my favorite book of all time is The Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac. A lot of people put On the Road as their favorite, but Dharma Bums I liked a little better. Jack Kerouac's a great fucking author, man. If you got the traveling bone. Speaking of Sam Bone's got a new book out called The Traveling Itch.
Really?
Yeah, and I think St. Chris's might be working on one too.
We'll have to see if we can get Sam on. Should be interesting. I like Sam Bones. I like her music.
What are you looking at?
Oh, just looking at the Essie Hinton. Outsiders was her most famous. That Was Then, This Is Now.
That's probably her second favorite. Rumblefish.
Maybe
Tex, I didn't miss one. Tex and
Taming the Star. Hawks Harbor.
That Hawks Harbor was one that she wrote that was kind of like a horror book or Hand It Something Else.
Yeah, some of Tim's stories.
Well, most of her novels were based around kids she knew growing up in Oklahoma. But
decently good looking lady back in the day.
Well, yeah. Yeah, she, good fucking author, man. Some of my favorite books came from them. Or from her.
You know, an author that I've had his book laying around for the longest time, something a great notion is King Kesey. I need to read more of King Kesey shit because he's a fucking He was an Oregonian. He wrote a lot of.
Is he the guy that wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah.
Okay.
He wrote a lot of his shit based in Oregon. You know, something a great notion dealt with a logging family and dealt with kind of like the changing of like the log camp living type, you know, situation into like the actual industrial logging and shit like that. Like how like the old. It's supposed to be a really good book. There's a movie with Paul Newman that was, but like anything, you probably should read the book first to make the movie fucking.
Well,
suck.
some of my favorite kids books are, you know, Roald Dahl books. Roald Dahl was great. I read just about all this.
Any R.L. Stein book.
Yeah,
I loved R.L. Stein. I honestly think the generation of horror lovers of our age right now has a lot to do with R.L. Stein. You know, the Goosebumps books and, you know, just his other like more younger adult novels, not so much like the kitschy comic booky Goosebumps type books. You know, it was more of like those are more like Pulp Fiction, like kids like horror novels.
Yeah.
Yeah, then like he got into like the Cataluna Chronicles with him and about like the possessed car and shit. You know, here's an author that I really don't enjoy reading, and I'll probably get a lot of flack from this, is Stephen King. Not a big Stephen King fan.
He's done some, you know...
Don't get me wrong. I will not give it away from the man. He has done some fantastic novels. He's like the fucking horror king of...
Well, I like his stuff that's not necessarily horror, like Stand By Me. Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile. Yeah, he's done a lot of great stuff that's not horror.
The Dark Tower series with the gunslinger shit. By the way, that was a fucking horrible movie. And fuck you, Matthew McConaughey, for even being part of that.
Dude.
It was a fucking terrible fucking movie.
You should
Did not do any of the fucking books any fucking justice. Fuck you, Matthew McConaughey.
Okay, we get it.
Sorry.
There's this thing on YouTube you should listen to with Joey Diaz talking about fucking Ralphie May fucking with Matthew McConaughey. I guess Ralphie had this apartment, this loft apartment in Hollywood or in LA, and in between in this building where his loft apartment was at, there was a garage, and Matthew McConaughey rented that garage out to keep one of his like fucking classic cars in it. And so he would be down there fucking with the car, and I guess like Ralphie found a way to throw his voice around to make it sound like fucking there was somebody like in a different fucking apartment fucking with him. So he would like, I guess he would like from what so Joey Diaz said he went up to see him one day, and he went in the house, and like he said that Ralphie was standing in the middle of his fucking house shirtless with like this thing wrapped around him, like it was like it was like a shower curtain kind of thing, and he was shirtless, and he said that he was like looking up, and when he came in, he was doing the shush noise, and he's like, "Hey, Matthew McConaughey, fuck you, you fucking piece of shit." And he said that he would just sit there and yell at him until Matthew McConaughey would just lose his shit and come out, "Fuck you, man, come out, tell me, you know, come on, say shit to my face." But he would think it was somebody else's windows. So like, yeah, Ralphie May was fucking, oh man, I've been on a Ralphie May kick.
I love Ralphie May. It's sad that the guy's not with us.
Yeah, man, his ending was not good.
No.
But yeah, man, so good episode, I think, buddy.
Yeah. Kind of a long episode. Hope you guys have stayed with us.
Yeah, we kept the segments a little short.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's probably hitting about 3 hours still, though. So, but yeah, so folks, We're looking forward to hearing from you. Dogwater Radio, all lowercase letters.
Listener mail. I don't care if you're wondering how to put a button on a code.
Can I finish telling them the address first? All lowercase letters. dogwaterradio@gmail.com. That's where you can reach us. We will give you some advice on whatever. We'll cover topics you want to hear, And you can also send us music there, so that's where you get a hold of us. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like our pages, share them as well.
Yep. Share, like, subscribe. Not only to Ruckus on the Records, but Dogwater Radio, and all of your Ruckus on the Records artists.
Yeah, and anybody we play on here, go check.
Anybody we play on there. Make sure you go check out Taillight Rebellion. Like and subscribe to those folks too. So.
Yep. And
keep it real.
Keep it real.
Keep it real.
Keep it real.
Keep it on the. Don't let it play on the A side. Keep it real and flips it over to the B sides.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. We hope we didn't bore you too much. We'll see you motherfuckers next week. I don't know who we have on the show. Actually, it might be Pappy's time to return next week.
Ooh, Pappy. We're going to talk about some cannabis farming. Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll talk about some cannabis.
Nice.
I think it's time for Pappy's picks. So,
Pappy's
it's been
picks.
a month.
Coming back in.
Alrighty, folks. We'll see you next week.
Well, I can see you there in your comfy chair, and I know what you want to do. Either buy a treadmill or take a sleeping pill or get some late night food to consume. If it were up to me, you'd have a bigger TV, bigger car, bigger dick, bigger phone. Your charm is clothes, make your hair grow, but you can't do it all alone. It's bad for business, don't you ever stop buying. It's the stock top line. Y'all ain't ready for a crash like this. It's bad for business. If you don't want more, never too old to go to the store. You can pay us later, no need to resist. Cause if you did that, it'd be bad, and it'd be bad for business. Just all go keep your SUV and drive 4 or 5 hours to work. Drink caffeine and stare at a screen, just pretend that your boss ain't a jerk. You gotta pay up for loans so you can drive back home and squeeze your wife's new tits. Kick the dog out the way, pull out the TV tray, just don't forget about this. It's bad for business, don't you ever stop buying. It's the stock top plan. Y'all ain't ready for a crash like this. It's bad for business. Where the hell is my money? Yeah, you think you're real funny. Talk it over, man, you get the shit. Cause if you didn't, that'd be bad for business. Bad for business. Get away with going to stay in a podunk shack off grid. Or find a seedy motel in a corner to hell, but you ain't getting nobody, kid. You can try not to buy all the cool fucking shit that we got. But if you get this, we'll put you on the list. Yeah, go ahead and give it a shot. It's bad for business, don't you ever stop buying. It's the stock top line. Y'all ain't ready for a crash like this. It's bad for business. Yeah, it's time to pay up. Better hit the corner and go tickle a cup, or I'll come to your house.